All right, here we go. Championship week for the vast majority of you. You're still playing for the championship in the week 18 now. That's a first. So congratulations on being a trendsetter, but really petition your commissioner to change that. But here we are. I'm Pierre. He is Chris. Chris, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Looking forward to 2022. How about you?
Absolutely. I think we're all looking forward to turning the page yet again. Of course, we said that last year, and it
Yeah.
didn't really get much better, but yeah, I think it's a little better. No, okay.
Yeah, that was a little
Well,
better. I mean, at least we weren't stuck in our homes for 3 months or whatever it was last year.
that's true. It is better. It's definitely going to be a better year. It was a great year for the endgame community. A lot of people going to bring home championships this week. I can just feel it. A great year for us. We personally want to, first of all, thank all of you who have watched this entire season. If you're new, just caught on a couple of weeks ago, which we've heard some of you, then you wish you would have found us sooner. Well, we're glad that you're here. We are almost to our initial goal of getting 10,000 subscribers. Didn't think that that would happen in basically a year, but here we are. We're almost there. Next year, the goal is 100K. Isn't that right?
That's right. 100K, 100K by this time next year.
That's right. Okay, but really, our goal, as you know, always our end game is help you win. We want you to bring home that trophy. So this is it. This is where the decisions matter the most. Let's go over first of all the injury report we always do, and of course this year that includes the COVID report. A lot of things changed just this week, just to keep us on our toes. So last week was the COVID apocalypse, where basically every player that matters was out due to COVID, just to try to screw you in your semifinal and make you panic and go to the waiver wire. So this week it's the opposite. A lot of players we thought were going to be out are now back, but there are a couple. So let's start with that. The COVID list right now. Denver Broncos. There was fear that basically half the roster might be wiped out. So far, what we know that matters for fantasy, Jerry Jeudy is out. Tim Patrick, another receiver, also out. And then jumping ahead to the end, Cortland Sutton thought might not be playing. He was questionable, but he did travel with a team. So we can confirm, Chris, that Cortland Sutton is playing.
Yes. And if you somehow have held on to Cortland Sutton this long, it may pay off for you finally.
It may pay off. I know you're pulling for that one.
Yes.
He's one of those calls that, we don't get everything right. There's several guys I didn't. We thought Cortland Sutton was definitely going to have a big year, and it didn't happen, not through his own fault. But hey, maybe it pays off this week. We'll see, because he's kind of the only thing they got going in the passing game. Let me jump ahead also to an out player, Teddy Bridgewater, not playing, not ready to return from concussion. So it is going to be Drew Lock. Keep that in mind before firing of Cortland Sutton. And then also at quarterback, Kirk Cousins not going to play. So we're going to see Sean Mannion among boys going to be playing for week 17. What was that stat that you quoted? This is like his third career start,
Okay.
and they've all come in week 17.
Yeah. So crazy enough, he started week 17, 2019, 2020, and now he's starting week 17, 2021. And he's yet to throw a touchdown. So yeah, not good.
So don't fire up Sean Mannion. But here's the question, and we might have some people who are panicked. We saw in the Discord already some people saying, "Do I even start Justin Jefferson?" I mean, it's kind of hard not to, but you've got to be concerned, right?
Yeah, you got to knock Justin Jefferson down because the upside without Kirk Cousins just isn't there. But I think the volume will be there. I think he still has a nice floor. I just don't think he has much of a ceiling this week.
Yeah, the ceiling's definitely dropped. It just always depends on your other options. So again, let us know who else you would consider, and we'll see what happens. All right, so out not due to COVID, but for injury. Already mentioned Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Not an injury, but you should know that Cam Newton is not starting this week. He's going to be on the bench at least for the first series. It's going to be Sam Darnold, but we'll probably see Cam Newton. It's going to be one of those college things where they alternate or something that kills both their values along with the entire Carolina offense. I don't see this ending well.
No, no. I mean, I would not want to have any Panthers in my lineup this week. That's for sure.
No, I definitely know I don't. Yeah, what they say, if you have two quarterbacks, you really have none. I think that might be true in this case. All right, running back CEH is officially out. We told you Darrell Williams is a solid start because Edwards-Helaire is suffering that collarbone injury from last week. So no Clyde Edwards-Helaire. take those 10 points and put them somewhere else. Um, Adam Thielen also out for Minnesota. It looks like his season is over. So that also changes things in Minnesota. KJ Osborne was looking like a good start, but maybe not so much this week. And then Darren Waller also out for the season. Man, talk about a disappointing end to a disappointing year. I mean, I think even though a lot of it this last few weeks was injury, I think it's pretty safe to say he was one of the biggest busts of this year.
Yeah, he was up there. I mean, he had some okay weeks, but definitely didn't do what we expected from Darren Waller. But I mean, there were bigger busts than him for sure, like Allen Robinson. But he was certainly a bust this year, even before the injury. Definitely.
Yeah, A-Rod definitely takes the cake there. But yeah, Waller had that massive week one. Everyone thought he should be the MVP.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah,
Yeah.
that didn't last. Okay. Elijah Moore, I was really hoping he would come back. He's not, just not ready yet. And so don't put Elijah Moore in any lineups. And Jamison Crowder is doubtful, so probably not going to play either. And so pretty much let's ignore all Jets pass catchers because I can't even tell you other than Braxton Berrios who else they have. And look, you
I
know
mean,
what's good with
Braxton
Braxton
Berrios
Berrios.
he's been okay in PPR recently. I think he's a okay deep league start.
He's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, he's
Look,
okay. He's okay.
there's no Barrios fan bigger than me, right? Obviously, being a Miami guy, but man, in the championship week, well, we'll see. All right, questionable. Lamar Jackson. I think he's kind of on the wrong side of questionable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you see that video of him in practice? He like throws a pass and then they like jog up the field and the coach is literally jogging faster than Lamar Jackson because he can barely put any weight on his foot. There's no way Lamar Jackson's playing this week. No way. And if he does, no way you can start him because he's not gonna be able to move. He can't move.
Yeah, I think that questionable tag is just so that the opponent maybe is fooled into thinking he might play, but it's not. And you know what? Tyler Huntley is the same type of quarterback, so I don't see why it matters. Tyler Huntley is probably good to go. I think he's starting this week, right?
Yeah, but he cleared. I mean, if Lamar Jackson doesn't start, which he probably won't, then yes, it will be Huntley.
All right, some unfortunate questionables here. Damian Harris, again, in a total smash spot against Jacksonville, but always some sort of nagging injury. He's questionable, so definitely monitor his status up until game time. James Conner missed last week, still questionable. Do we feel good about his status?
Not really. I don't think he got any practice in this week. He's a game time decision again. I don't feel like it could be another Chase Edmonds week.
All right, so be prepared to be without Connor yet again. And we already talked about Denver, Javante Williams, and Melvin Gordon, both also questionable just to make things fun there because Chargers would be a great run defense to go against with two running backs that would get a ton of carries. Um, both great starts if they play, but again, you got to check out. I mean, do we feel concerned about one more than the other?
No, I don't think so. I think they're both going to. I think I saw today that Melvin Gordon is playing, and I haven't really heard anything to make me feel like Javante won't play. So I think they're both going to play and both be fine.
I feel like both these guys have been questionable for like the last several weeks and then they've
Yeah.
never missed. So take it with a grain of salt. Now, Elijah Mitchell did miss the last couple of weeks. He's also still questionable. Great spot to start him, but that's if he plays. So if he does, then you've got to play him against Houston. If not, you just got to be ready to pivot. Jeff Wilson is not a bad start.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt working his way back, still questionable. Chances he plays.
I mean, the reports on Friday was he was practicing. He looked good, so I think he's going to play.
Yeah, that's where it seems to be leaning. But again, you never know with these teams. So kind of tentatively keep him in your lineup. Antonio Brown, just when you thought he might be a league winner, had a huge game last week going against the Jets, but he's also questionable. What's the word on him?
The last thing they said is that they're hopeful that he will play, which never is good. And they said they have to be careful, cautious with him. And I guess he retweaked the ankle during the game last week. So my gut tells me he's not going to play because it's the Jets and they don't need him. They could beat the Jets they can just run the ball with Keyshawn Vaughn and Ronald Jones 50 times to beat the Jets. So my gut tells me he's not going to play. But if he does play, I mean, you got to start him. You got to start him if he does.
Yeah, same thing with Mike Evans. We know he missed a game, also questionable. I mean, if he plays, you got to play him, but there's a good chance they just rest him because this team's thinking Super Bowl, not beat the Jets, right? They're not too worried about beating the Jets.
Yeah,
With Tyler
they're
Johnson.
not worried about Week 17 Jets. No.
Yeah. So I tell you, if both of those guys are out, then you might look to a guy like Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, but
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of risk here. Another Brown, Marquise Hollywood Brown. I don't think we should worry too much if he plays or not because he just hasn't been fantasy relevant for a while, but he's questionable. And then Jacoby Myers, just in case you forgot he was around, he's also questionable. In for sure, Carson Wentz went from being out with COVID to back and ready to roll. So if you're going to play Carson Wentz, hopefully it's a 2 quarterback league, then you can play Carson Wentz. Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler, and DeAndre Swift, some big running back names. Those guys are in. DeAndre Swift is the guy we'll probably get a lot of questions about.
Yeah.
Chris, as a DeAndre Swift. Let's see, what's the right word I could say? Not bash. Look, I was the one who was
No,
hating on DeAndre Swift before the season, but
no,
DeAndre
not that.
Swift, I
I
mean,
just thought his ADP was too high, which apparently it wasn't. Which it wasn't, but I did think his ADP was a little out of control earlier in the year. But he's paid it off. Well, prior to the injury, he paid it off.
for the most, he was still up and down though. There was a couple of dead
Yeah.
games, so I don't know. But coming back from injury, other guys in the mix. I mean, honestly, I'd rather just avoid it. But I mean, I guess he is playable.
Yeah, I mean, I think you almost have to play him. I mean, it doesn't really make sense why he's even playing, but the fact that he's playing tells me that the Lions have to feel good about his health because there's no reason to put him out there if they felt like they were only going to get, 30% or 50% Swift. Like, what's the point of that? Like, just rest him.
Right.
So I think you got to play him if you.
And this brings up the point we talk about all the time, guys. Remember, just because you think, well, what are they playing for? They should tank and lose because they should get a better draft spot. Like, what's the point? These teams want to win because
Mhm.
there's nothing in it for them to lose, right? You want them to tank, but they don't want to tank. And these coaches, yeah, they kind of care about their record. They kind of care about keeping their job. Dan Campbell is a first-year head coach. He needs a win, right? He's not going to do what's best for your fantasy team. So, yeah, these coaches want to win. So a team like the Lions, they might run DeAndre Swift out there 30 times. Who knows? And then last but not least, Mike Williams is back, also activated from the COVID list. So there you have it. We will keep you updated if anything changes. And of course, all the latest, you can check out our Discord because we're always on there. News breaks on this Discord faster than it breaks on Twitter, I'm going to say.
Yes.
As soon as it breaks on Twitter, Nate's posting it.
Maybe as fast. As fast.
All right. Let's do it, guys. This is time for start sit questions. We're going to do our best to answer and help you set the winning lineups. As always, best thing you can do is give us as much detail as possible. Tell us if it's a PPR league, non-PPR, half PPR, super flex, dynasty, whatever it is. Give us your other options. You say, oh, should I start, Ronald Jones?
Yeah.
Depends. Maybe. Who else would you start instead? Like, the more detail, the better. And if you want your question to be answered in a prompt manner, be patient, but also you can use a super chat feature that kind of skips you to the front line. So that's another option. Or you can become a Patreon. We always talk about this, but our patrons get a private start sit session with us on Sunday morning. So that's something you might want to consider too. Information is in the description below. And that's all I got. All right, let's go to the questions.
All right, let's start with our super chat questions. Jason Quinones from the Police League. I remember from last week.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently, I'm going to assume you made it to your Police League finals. So congratulations there. So first question, Hollywood Brown or MVS? Yeah. Right off the bat. We don't even get like a softball off the bat. It's like, here you go.
And to me, my gut reaction was pretty quick on this one. I did have I have MVS as a boom this week, a guy that I think has great upside. Now, again, that means he could go off. There's always risk, right? We always know with MVS, there's never a super high floor, but man, we can't feel good about Hollywood Brown at all.
No, especially with Huntley.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't had that connection with Huntley. He hasn't really done much lately. MVS, last time he played the Vikings, went for 123 yards and a touchdown. I think this is a spot you go with MVS.
Yeah, I think you got to roll with MVS. The Vikings secondary is terrible. I know there's a little concern about it being, insanely cold, but with Huntley, I can't trust Marquise Brown. And then he's asking Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson.
Well, if Harris plays, it's no doubt it's Harris. I mean, the only reason
Yeah,
I would not start Harris is if he's just scratched completely.
exactly. If Harris plays, it's him. Obviously, if he's scratched, then Stevenson becomes pretty much a must start, assuming Stevenson's good to go. And then last one, would you consider benching Kyler Murray for say Trey Lance? No, no.
No, I know the temptation is there because Lance, physically he can do all the things Murray can do. Not quite as fast, but he can run. He's got just as strong an arm and all that. But he's a rookie making his second start,
Yeah,
and he didn't have great stats his first start. I know he'll do better. I know it's a better matchup. That's the thing. I know that's the temptation, right? Going against Houston versus going against Dallas is a big difference. But Murray is not a guy you can bench unless you have a clearly better option.
yeah. I mean, Trey Lance was what 15 for 29 for like 190 yards and an interception last time. I mean, yeah, he ran a bunch and he will, but Murray can run too. So no, I got to roll Murray in my finals. All right, Jason Oliveira, super chat. Thank you. Hey, you guys rock. Thank you. Have PPR. Perryman. I'm gonna Rashard Perriman. KJ Osborne, Fant, or Everett at tight end. Okay, so is this two questions? Perriman or KJ Osborne, I guess, is the first question.
I've seen a lot of people giving attention to Brashad Perriman, and I get, if Evans and AJ and Antonio Brown, I mean, don't play, I wouldn't go Perriman. I would go Tyler Johnson. That's just me.
Yeah.
Um, I, yeah, I can't take a chance on Perriman. And like you said, that this could be a game where they don't really even need to pass. So I guess I would go Osborne, even though I can't feel great about Osborne either. But I would
Yeah, I
still
don't
take him
feel
if I
great
want.
about him either, but I definitely don't feel great about Perriman. And what about Fant or Everett at tight end?
I'm gonna go Everett. Fant has just been disappointing, and Everett the last couple of weeks has come on right. Going against Detroit, I kind of have to feel better about Everett, especially with Drew Lock at quarterback.
Yeah, if Sutton was also out, I might go Fant because then it's like, okay, they have no wide receivers, but Sutton will probably get the bulk of the targets. Fant will just be Fant again. So yeah, I think you got to go Everett. And then super chat from Pasta Prince: Saints or Packers D?
I think we've got more questions on the Discord than ever about defense because things keep changing, right? Especially the players in and out. Um, a lot of people are on the Saints defense this week, rightfully so, because they're going against that Carolina offense. I think there's a lot of potential for turnover. So I do like the Saints defense a little bit better. The Packers, I know they get Sean Mannion, but again, they have Dalvin Cook back. They're going to do a lot of running. They're going to do a lot of probably successful running. So I don't feel like it's going to be a big turnover game for the Packers.
I mean, all week I was saying the Saints, Saints, Saints. I kind of feel like the Packers now just because of the Sean Mannion. I mean, yes, I do agree. I think they are going to run it with Dalvin Cook a lot, but they're going to have to throw the ball, and especially if they fall behind 2 or 3 scores, which I think, like the
True.
Panthers probably aren't going to be losing to the Saints by 2 or 3 scores because the Saints offense, it's not like the Saints offense is going to just be able to do whatever they want, right? Their offense is terrible. So I think I do kind of lean the Packers a little bit here, but I think they're both great starts. I think they're both great starts, and they should both have good games.
Yeah, it's fairly close. I feel like at least the Vikings, what do they have an offense? They still have Dalvin Cook, which is pretty good, and they have Justin Jefferson. If you look at Carolina, they have Sam Darnold and Chuba Hubbard, and that's not frightening. I think between Darnold and Cam Newton, they could turn the ball over and get sacked probably more than Mannion.
There you
But
go.
we'll
And then
see.
here's a kicker one for you from also from Pasta Prince, and I think I even know the answer to this one, but Folk or Greg the Leg?
uh, Folk, if he plays, which he's always questionable, like every single week of the
Yeah.
season, he's been questionable.
Isn't
But
he
if
like the
Folk
number one
plays,
kicker by a significant amount?
he is, and they're going against Jacksonville, so it's got to be
Yeah,
Folk.
I don't know how you. I mean, I hate. I shouldn't say I hate kickers. I hate kickers in fantasy leagues.
Yeah,
But even I wouldn't. Like I would if I had Nick Folk, I'd be like, yeah, I have Nick Folk, ha ha ha, to everybody.
it's true. It's got to be Folk.
All right, Michael Becker, super chat. Trust Justin Jefferson or play Daryl Williams?
All right, here it comes. We knew these were coming, right? The Justin Jefferson questions. I still go Jefferson in this case. I get Daryl Williams. Yes, I think we talked about him as a boom, and we like him this week. But do you like him better than one of the top receivers in all the game? I mean, come on, Mannion. obviously it's a big downgrade, right? Obviously he's
Yeah.
not, Kirk Cousins. He's not a guy who should be starting necessarily, but it's not Jake Fromm. I guess let's put it that way, right? This is a guy that at least we figure can get the ball to Justin Jefferson. I think.
I mean, I think I actually talked about this in the Discord, not this exact question, but I did say it was Justin Jefferson and Michael Carter, and I said I still go Justin Jefferson because I he'll probably get if Mannion throws the ball 20 times, he'll probably get 12 or 13 targets. Right? He's gonna like because who else is he gonna throw to really? So and he might only catch 5 or 6 of them or 7 of them, which is terrible for that many targets, but he can still turn that into like a 15-point fantasy day. So like I said, I think the floor is good for Jefferson. I don't think the ceiling is really there. So I think you still gotta start, assuming it's PPR, of course. Assuming it's PPR, which you
Right.
didn't say.
Yeah. If it's standard, then I might go running back like Carter
Yeah.
Williams. But yeah, and like you said, Jefferson without feeling there, that's even better. And also, if the Packers do get up, which we're thinking they will, more targets for Jefferson.
Yeah. All right. Super chat from Easy Money Sicilian. Cordell Patterson or Chase Edmonds. This is PPR.
Well, we don't know. It's hard to fully answer that without knowing James Conner's status. If James Conner is out, I mean, Chase Edmonds is a strong start. He's kind of a must start. Even if James Conner is in, I think I might prefer Edmonds.
I was gonna say that even if if Connor's out for sure Edmonds, but even if Connor's in, I think I still like Edmonds because I talked about it on our bus video. Patterson isn't catching passes anymore. He has 4 catches for 3 yards or whatever it is. 3 catches for 4 yards over the last two. Like he's not involved in the passing game anymore, and that was his huge upside. Right? It was like, hey, he's going to get 10 carries, but he's also going to catch like 6 or 7 passes as a wide receiver. That part's not there. So in PPR, I'd still take Edmonds, and then McLaurin or Christian Kirk.
All right. Now that's tough because there's no injury, involved here. It's just who's got more upside. I have Kirk ranked higher, look, because I get that the matchup's tougher as a team defense, but the individual matchup is tougher, right? We always talk about this matched up, just like I think the last time they played Philadelphia, we both mentioned Darius Slay, not a lot of upside. And what did Terry McLaurin do? 2 catches for 51 yards, no touchdown. That's not getting it done. The upside is just very much capped with
Yeah,
him. I know Kirk is risky too. He always is, but you know what? No, Hopkins, he's been a lot more involved.
I agree. I got to go. As much as it pains me, I got to go. I got to go Kirk here. It's just
I know it does
tough
feel
spot for McLaurin this
stings
week,
a little bit to sit Terry McLaurin this late in the season, but
but you got to do it. All right, super chat from Lucius Varanus 44. Thank you. Needs a tight end. Foster Moreau. I almost called him Fabian Moreau again. I don't know why I always call him Fabian Moreau. Foster Moreau, Hunter Henry, or Fryermuth.
ooh, tight end. Okay. Don't feel great about Moreau. Like he really hasn't done much. I kind of like him in general. I just his role in this offense, especially against Indy, I don't like it. Fryermuth is okay. I think he's okay if he's back and healthy against Cleveland. He might get some targets. I think I have Hunter Henry the highest though, just because we know Jacoby Myers is questionable. Nelson Aguilar, I think, is out again. I mean, they just don't have a lot of options here, and they should be able to throw a little bit against Jacksonville. They're not going to do it like it did against Buffalo and just run it all the time. So I kind of like Hunter Henry the best.
Yeah, I think out of that group, I go Henry. Obviously, the risk is, he's very touchdown dependent, but
Aren't
we've
they all?
seen it. We've seen it in good matchups. He can have 2 touchdowns, have these huge games. So I think I just roll with the upside of Henry there. All right, super chat from Trench Road. Thank you. Thanks for all the great content this year, guys. You're very welcome. Thanks for watching. In the championship, congratulations. Let's take it home. Full PPR needs one for the flex. Edmonds, Metcalf, or Gallup. Cannot believe DK Metcalf is in the same discussion as Edmonds and Gallup. Jeez.
But here we are, and what have I been saying? Metcalf as a bust, and look, okay, he did get that one pass for a touchdown last week, but can we really be, feeling great about his target share and everything else? That one play, that's all he did last week. That's it. That one play. He hasn't still gone over 60 yards since Russell Wilson came back in week 10. Okay. 60 yards. He hasn't gone over that for the past like 10 weeks. The last time he did it was with Geno Smith at quarterback. Not making that up. Okay. So I get that it's Detroit. I get that Metcalf is a beast, but I'm going to Edmonds.
I mean, if Connor's out for me, it's easily Edmonds. Now, what if Connor's back? Do you still go Edmonds over Metcalf?
I think so because honestly, Edmonds is probably going to catch more passes than Metcalf because that's what they're going to do, right? That's what Edmonds' main role is. I mean, he's a pretty good runner, change of pace guy when Connor's in there, but he's going to catch those passes. They're going against Dallas. That's how you're going to attack this defense, right? To slow the pass rush of Micah Parsons. They're going to dump it off. They're going to throw screens to him. The touchdown upside is the same. I mean, yeah, I still like Edmonds.
Oh man, brutal. I mean, I guess just hope that Connor's out, which I think he will be, and then it's easy Edmonds. Then it's easy Edmonds.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, not I actually need Connor to play for my best ball leagues, but it'll make your decision much easier.
I need Connor
because then it's easier.
League. I'm in the championship. I need Connor because I also have DeAndre Hopkins and Chris Godwin and then Jerry Judy. So yeah, I kind of.
Wow, how'd you get to the championship with that team?
I don't know how I made it to the championship with that, but I did.
All right, another super chat from Felix Mostel. I'm sure I mispronounced that. It's got like the little two dots over the O, so I know I definitely mispronounced that, but thank you for the super chat. Pick 2, Ezekiel Elliott, Darrell Williams, Elijah Mitchell, or DeAndre Swift, full PPR.
Of those 4, I'm going to take Swift out because, again, I want to feel like I had a guy at least who's going to give me some points. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually tough for me. I mean, Elijah Mitchell's in a great spot this week, but you do have to be a little bit nervous about first game back. Is he 100%? I do like Darrell Williams a lot. We've seen Darrell Williams when CEH is out. He's a monster. Can I really bench Zeke? I don't think I can bench Zeke. He's looking better. This is actually really tough for me. I would probably go Zeke and Darrell Williams if it was me.
Yeah, I feel Zeke has to be one. Again, between those other options, I wouldn't pick Swift over either. I want to say Elijah Mitchell, but like you said, that's the chance you're taking. Is he full go? Even if he plays, is he going to get 20 carries? With Lance there, is the offense going to really be as efficient? So even though I kind of want to say Mitchell, you're probably better off going Darrell Williams.
Yeah, I think I would go Zeke and Darrell Williams if it was my team, honestly. If I love Mitchell, and if I knew that he was 100% full go, going to get normal run, I'd probably go him, but I'm a little nervous. And Shanahan had a comment where he said something like, we'll give him whatever he can handle, but Jeff Wilson is there, and the running backs coach will switch him out when he feels like he needs to and all this stuff. So it didn't sound like, he's ready for his normal. Like this could be more of a split than we like, unfortunately. All right. He also asked, Amon-Ra St. Brown or Tyler Lockett?
I like St. Brown a lot, but it's got to be Lockett.
Yeah, against Detroit, he's got literal championship winning upside. He could throw up like a 40, 50 point game against Detroit. Yep. Right? He could definitely do it. So I think you got to go Lockett. All right, super chat from Henry Odom. Thank you. Championship, let's go. Pick 2 in PPR. Let's see, a wide receiver and a flex. So let's go wide receiver first. St. Brown, Brandon Cooks, Devonta Smith, or Tyler Boyd? I'm guessing it's between St. Brown.
Cooks. I know I'm probably usually too high on him, but he's back. He'll be a full go. Davis Mills is looking better. So I still feel like Cooks could get 10 targets in this game. I think I'm going to have Cooks the highest out of those guys. And then I probably have St. Brown second.
Yeah. So then do you flex St. Brown over Michael Carter or Sony Michel?
Well, we're going to go against Sony Michel this week, right? Matchup is not good.
I am. I don't know if you are, but I am.
I'm with you. Hey, look, I'm right there with you too. I know it's hard to avoid The volume he's been getting. Daryl Henderson's out now. I get that he owns the backfield. It's
It-
not a good
Daryl
matchup.
Daryl Henderson got one touch last week, and everybody's freaking out like, "Oh my God, Daryl Henderson's gone. He got one touch."
Yeah,
It was like
it didn't
it
make a
was in like
difference.
the it was in the third quarter. He's not getting like that. That has no impact on Sony Michel. He wasn't getting touches anyways.
Right, right. But
Sony Michel was already getting 20 carries every week.
it's um okay. So Michael Carter, then I'm basically choosing between Michael Carter or St. Brown.
Yes.
I know I talked to Michael Carter because I think there's a good chance that he gets a lot of catches against Tampa, but it's riskier.
Yeah.
I think St. Brown's still the play there.
Yeah, I was going to say Cooks and St. Brown for me. I do like Michael Carter a lot this week, but the risk is there, right? Like if Zach Wilson doesn't dump it off to him 7 or 8 times and he's only running the ball, then it's probably not going to be a very good Michael Carter game. So I would just go Cooks and St. Brown. I like them both a lot this week. I think they have a ton of upside in PPR. I would just go with them. And I think they're safer. All right, another super chat. Thank you so much, guys. You just bring in the super chats. Really appreciate it. From A Zerby, and I'm sure I mispronounced that. Okay, well, look, I will say that he's got a bit of a derogatory comment towards the fantasy headliners. They're not bums. Look, they're good people. We actually know them. We used to work with them. They're good people. And let's be real. And I'm sure Pierre agrees. Us seeing what the fantasy headliners did, like creating their own channel and making it big, gave us the inspiration that we could do that too. So, like to me, it's like without the fantasy headliners, I don't even know if we would be here right now. So, yeah, no bad comments to the fantasy headliners.
No,
They're
like I
doing,
give credit to them. Success of
yeah,
Jake. I met Jake in person. Great guy, super smart guy. He built that channel, and
yeah,
he deserves all the success he's gotten. So kudos to them. And then Kyle, I worked with for years. I mean, they work, right? They're hard
yeah,
workers. So give them credit for what they've done.
yeah, exactly. Give them credit. They're doing good things over there. All right. Catacomb Kid Super Chat. Pick three. Montgomery, Kamara. Okay, Kamara. We'll see how you and I feel on Kamara right now. Montgomery, Kamara, Mixon, Swift, Mitchell, Ronald Jones. What did you just hoard all the running backs in your league? Like
These are all on the same roster.
I
Okay,
guess
maybe it's
so.
a 15 league. Who knows?
Gotta pick three of those. I'll say off the bat, Montgomery and Mixon are must for me.
Yeah, that makes it easier. I got Montgomery as RB5 this week, and Mixon as RB6. So there you go.
Yeah, so now we're gonna pick one between Kamara, Swift, Mitchell, and Ronald Jones.
Okay, so I'm scratching Swift out. We already talked about Mitchell. There's risk there. I wouldn't put him over those guys, so we can scratch those two. So Ronald Jones. I mean, we know the upside. It's the Jets.
Yeah.
Then there's Alvin Kamara. So look, full transparency. I mean, not that it's a secret because you could literally just go on Fancy Bros and see where I have these guys ranked. Anyways, I have Ronald Jones ranked higher than Alvin Kamara.
I'm happy to hear it. I'm not very high on Kamara this week. I don't think it's going to be a very good game for Kamara. I would go Montgomery, Mixon, and Ronald Jones if it was my team. I would bench Kamara this week. Crazy to say. The guy who literally won the championship last year, right, with his 56-point game in the finals, would be on my bench this year. Crazy. But that's
Whose
football.
jersey is hanging in the background as we
Yeah.
speak. But
Yeah.
it's not
Crazy.
about fandom. It's about making the smart decision.
All right, super chat from MC Fire 1214. Thank you. Full PPR out of Javonte, Darrell Williams, Sony Michel, or Stevenson. Obviously, if Damian Harris doesn't play, who do I play?
Wait, we're picking one?
I think we're picking one of those. I mean, I'll say right off the bat, if Damian Harris is ruled out, I think you have to. Stevenson against the Jaguars is like, can you sit him? Can
I
you
was
sit
going to go the
Stevenson
opposite
against the
way. I was
Jaguars?
going to say I don't play Stevenson either way because look, we saw what happened when Harris was out and it was Stevenson's backfield. He didn't have a good game. He got 50 yards. I'm gonna say I was right and wrong on Stevenson preseason because you know this, you remember this before the NFL draft. We talked about our favorite running back prospects. I didn't have him as my top 10. I thought he's a plotter. He's not going to make it in the NFL. He has taken advantage of being on a good team with a really good offensive line, and he can knock some guys down. He can make some big runs. He's not a guy who can be an RB1. I just don't think he is even on that team. So I'm not going to say Stevenson, especially over those other choices. That's just me. I would go Javante if he plays because the upside is just so massive.
Javante over Darrell Williams for you?
I do go Javante over Joe Williams
Oh,
because they're playing the Chargers. Look what happened to the Chargers last week. I mean, we've seen the Chargers are number 4 in terms of giving up the 4th most fantasy points to running backs on the season. Javante on a team that has no Teddy Bridgewater, no Jerry Judy, no Tim Patrick. We could see Javante and Melvin Gordon both go over 100 yards this week. I'm not saying it's going to happen, right? I mean, obviously, it could just be that Denver scores 3 points and that's it.
yeah.
But those are some good running backs, and I think that there's a chance there.
They are good running back. I think if it was me personally, I'd have to go with Darrell Williams. I always chase that volume, the guy who's going to get, 15 carries. And like we've seen it, he gets 5+ catches, right? He catches a ton of passes when CEH is out. So I do like Javante. I mean, I think you're probably okay either way. Just me, my style, I would go for the guy who I feel like is going to get the touches. So I would go Darrell Williams, but
And I
I think
agree.
okay.
Fundamentally, I agree that the thing is I hate with Darrell Williams is I can't ever rank him too high. Same reason that we can't ever rank CEH too high is because the Chiefs never give any running back that many carries or
But,
touches.
but they did when CH he was running back. If you look at the 5 weeks of CH was that he was the RB5, the
True.
RB5 over that stretch. So they did to Darrell Williams. For some reason, they did to Darrell Williams.
Who knows?
So, yeah. But I think, yeah, either way, you're okay. I mean,
It's pretty close. It's pretty
Javante
close
is
between those two.
Javante is in a great. He's in a great spot. I wish Melvin Gordon wasn't there. Then it would be Javante league winning season. All right, another super chat from Cody Bear 60. Thank you. Okay, Montgomery or Ronald Jones in the flex?
I just mentioned this. I had Montgomery just ahead of Ronald Jones. It's close. You gotta like them both, but Montgomery's so much higher floor because
Yeah,
what if Ronald Jones gets hit from the side, right? Helmet pops the ball out and he fumbles. That's it. He's done for the day. We know this.
exactly. Or he whiffs on a block and Brady gets like steamrolled.
Yep.
That's it. It's like we won't see Ronald Jones the rest of the game. Yeah, Montgomery to me is like a top 5 running back this week. You got to start him. And then Gabriel Davis or Hollywood Brown.
I mean, we can't feel great about Gabe Davis coming off of COVID, and
Yeah,
Beasley's back, and Sanders is back, at least maybe. Um, so I don't love Hollywood Brown, but I think I'd still probably go with him this week.
yeah, I don't love it, but and we've heard a lot of guys like Tyler Lockett and Tyreek Hill saying how tired they were after coming back from COVID. So can't feel great about Gabriel Davis this week. I don't feel great about Hollywood Brown either, but I think between those two, I have to play him as well. All right, another super chat from David Eli the fourth. Needs a PPR wide receiver and flex. So wide receiver Justin Jefferson or Mike Evans.
I would go with Jefferson. Talked about this earlier. He's still going to get a ton of targets. There's still opportunity for him to do something. No, it's not going to be his, biggest game of the year, but he could still do something. Evans is always risky coming off injury. He's a guy who doesn't play well when he's less than 100%. They might not even need to pass much in this game. So, and then we're assuming that Evans comes back and Antonio Brown doesn't, so I don't really see that scenario happening anyways.
All right, so then do you flex Evans or Sony Michel?
Well, that's a little tougher because Evans is risky, but we know there's always touchdown upside. Michelle, even though we hate the matchup, he also has touchdown upside. So I think I'd feel a little better about Michelle, I guess, because I know he'll be out there and he'll get the touches. I don't think he'll do much with them, but I'd still probably lean toward Michelle.
Yeah, unless we hear something tomorrow like Evans feels great, is 100%, no issues with the hamstring, then maybe I would roll Evans over him, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So I'd probably go Jefferson and Michelle as much as benching Mike Evans against the Jets would just pay me so much. But yeah, got to worry about him not being 100% if he even plays. I don't think Evans is going to play anyway. So I think your decision will be made for you, to be honest.
Tampa's one of those teams that plays carefully with injuries.
Yeah, Tampa's not playing for week 17. They're playing for the playoffs in the Super Bowl. All right, another super chat. Ryan Leal, thank you so much. Pick 2 wide receivers and a flex. So wide receivers, pick 2 between Evans, AJ Brown. I mean, for me, AJ Brown's a must.
Yes.
Okay, so pick 1 between Evans, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian Kirk, Odell Beckham, MVS.
Ooh, got some tasty choices there. Like guys with a lot of upside. You know, St. Brown is a safe pick. Odell Beckham is the sexy pick. I look if you want to go for it all, go for the big game. Go for Odell Beckham. You know, if you're feeling like you need that upside. I mean, how bad can he do against Baltimore secondary? Really? I mean,
I mean, hasn't he had a touchdown in like 4 straight games?
yeah, at the very least, I thought. Look, I'll admit, I thought he was going to smash last week against Minnesota because their secondary is terrible. He didn't have a great game, but he did get a touchdown. At least he got you double-digit points. But against Baltimore, what I'm thinking. Do you remember against Green Bay when they triple teamed Devontae Adams? They're like, "Look, you will beat us with anybody else." Who's to say they don't do that with Cooper Kupp? Right? They know how this offense works. Everybody knows they're going to throw to Kupp 10 times. Baltimore's probably just going to try to take him out, which think Beckham then might have a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I think I would go AJ Brown and Beckham, and then needs a flex between Evans, St. Brown. I mean, I'm going to say like Kirk and Michelle, probably not in this discussion. So Evans, St. Brown, Darrell Williams, or MVS.
Again, if you're taking the shot with Beckham, then you wouldn't put MVS, right? Because then you're
They
just
probably want a little bit higher floor. So
probably say Brown.
yeah, Brown. It's Brown or Darrell Williams for me.
Oh yeah, Darrell Williams is pretty safe pick. I guess over Amon Ross St. Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah, I probably would have Darrell Williams a little bit higher.
yeah. That's I would go with AJ Brown, Darrell Williams, and Odell Beckham. So you got a nice mix of week winning upside and decent floor.
Yep.
All right, super chat from Bobby King. Thank you. He's running back plus a flex. So this one's not quite as juicy. Although okay, for running back, AJ Dillon, Jordan Howard. Okay, we didn't talk about Jordan Howard, but I think he's still like a game time decision.
Questionable, technically questionable. You know, he's a guy who's had that knee issue for a while now. Miles Sanders
Is out.
is out, but this team always uses a committee, right? So right now I'm seeing he's questionable. That's all they're saying. He's questionable.
Yeah, I saw something where they called up some practice squad running back, which never is a good sign. But anyways, his choices for running back are AJ Dillon, Jordan Howard, or Boston Scott. Not quite the juicy choices we've had so far.
I mean, not knowing what's going to happen to Philadelphia, just go with Dillon.
Yeah, I think if Howard is ruled out, I would go with Boston Scott because now they can't really run a committee, right? It's because all they really have left is Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. And sure, Kenneth Gainwell will get some run, but at least Boston Scott will probably be the lead there. If Howard plays, then yeah, I probably go Dillon. I just don't want to mess with that Eagles backfield. And then flex, Antonio Brown or Deontay Johnson.
Well, uh, I think if Antonio Brown plays, I would put Antonio Brown in, honestly. But and I say that because I'm a little bit down on Deontay Johnson um, this week. It doesn't look like he's very focused. This whole team doesn't look very focused. So I'm a little worried there. Big Ben's basically already, told us early he's done. Like he's kind of tired of this. He's you know ready to retire. So I don't feel great about that offense in general, especially I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. So I would go Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think if AB plays and there's no reports of him, being on a snap count or worry about the ankle, then I would go AB, especially if Evans is out. We saw last week when he got like half of Brady's targets. All right, Dante Jones, super chat. Thank you so much. Needs the defense between the Bears, the Saints, the Colts, or the Steelers. Not the Steelers.
Definitely not the Steelers.
The Steelers could be playing like Michigan, and I would still say don't start the Steelers defense.
Yeah, Michigan would maybe actually put up some points if they were playing the Steelers. Okay, but to me, it's the Bears. I mean, come on, Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon and whoever they're rolling out there. I mean, you got to
My
stream against them.
only my, my only worry my only worry with the Bears is they're not really a good defense. I know the Giants' offense is horrible. I think the Bears have a decent floor because the Giants aren't going to score any points. I just don't know if they have like that massive upside because they don't get a lot of sacks. They don't get a lot. They don't really. They're not a great defense. Whereas you talked about it earlier, the Saints against Sam Darnold, Cam Newton. I mean, that could be a sack turnover fest. I think I would go with the Saints. I mean, I don't expect the Panthers to put up a lot of points, and I think the Saints have more upside for sacks and turnovers. So I think I would go Saints.
Well, this is a case too. We always say with team defense, the scoring is different every league. It matters. If points against you get big bonuses for, if that matters the most, I would go Bears. If points against don't really get you that much, and if you get 3 points per turnover, then you probably go Saints.
I
So
mean,
I guess it depends.
How many points are the Panthers going to score?
Well, they can always do something. Like I feel much better
I
about the
mean,
Panthers scoring a touchdown than the Giants.
well, I mean that's true. If you're going for if you get like a huge bonus for shutouts, then maybe the Bears because the Bears probably have a better chance of shutting the Giants out than the Saints do the Panthers. But I think they're both good. My only worry with the Bears is they're not a good real life defense, right? They're okay, but they're
When
not
does real
that good.
life matter in fantasy?
All right, another super chat. Keep them coming. Thank you guys. Sam Retka, pick 3 in PPR: Kamara, Aaron Jones, Ronald Jones, and Sony Michelle.
So we're just sitting one of those.
Sitting one of those.
You got to play Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
You got to play Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I think Aaron Jones is back to got to play him because it looks like he kind of retook the lead there in that backfield last week.
Fine. Yeah, and it's a great matchup.
Yeah.
So we're between Sonny Michelle and Kamara. That's the case where I go Kamara just because I mean, he could always score. Pass catching upside,
I was going to say that.
I feel great. We know Michelle could get scripted out, and they're going to focus on him. So in that case, I go Kamara. We don't love Kamara this week, but I like him better than Michelle.
Yeah, I agree. I would sit Michelle there. Kamara at least going to get some receiving work. The Saints offense will actually run the ball. I don't think the Rams are going to run. People just think Sony Michelle's running the ball 20 plus times. I mean, maybe if the Rams are up, 3 or 4 scores in the fourth quarter, he gets, that kind of run. But I think they're just going to throw it a ton. So,
yep.
All right, another super chat. Thank you from Adam Zinzelmeyer. Apologies if I mispronounce your name. PPR, Everett or Pitts?
I had Pitts as a bust, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go Everett. Look, who has been more productive? Everett has been okay the last couple weeks. Pitts, I know he had that 100-yard game, but this is Buffalo. This is one of the toughest defenses. I would at least take the safety of Everett. I don't trust Atlanta's offense this week at all.
Man, hard to say Everett is safe.
I didn't say he's safe. I just said I feel a little safer.
I mean, so I'm trying to think because there's one league where we lost Hawkinson, and I've got Everett in right now. And I'm trying to think if Pitts was on the wire, would I play Pitts over Everett? That's what I'm going over my head. And I feel like I probably would, just because I'm a sucker like that. I'd be like, oh, at least we have Kyle Pitts, good enough. Because I mean, Everett hasn't put up fantasy points, but he's not getting a lot of targets. But it is Detroit. So maybe I would go Everett. I might go Everett, actually. I think now I talk about it a little more because it is Detroit.
You've got a better chance for a touchdown, right?
Well, yes. I don't even know. The Falcons literally might get shut out this week.
Exactly.
And then pick a flex between Michael Carter, A.J. Dillon, Ramondre Stevenson, or Boston Scott.
For me, then I go with my guy Carter. Because there's question marks about all of them, but Carter, we know, is the guy there, especially because Tevin Coleman didn't mention this. He's out with COVID, right?
Yeah, we didn't mention Tevin Coleman's out, so Michael Carter should get a ton of work this week. So I agree, Michael Carter. All right, another super chat from Robin Hanuki. Apologies if I mispronounced your name. Made the Super Bowl, by the way. I'm not picking on you. I just think it's funny when people call it the Super Bowl. I mean, I love fantasy football, but this isn't the Super Bowl. It's your fantasy championship, though.
It's a fantasy.
Anyways. All right. Who should I start? Rashad Penny, DeAndre Swift, James Conner, or Dare Ogunbowale, however you pronounce his name.
Well, we're just picking one, then it's Penny.
Yeah, I like Penny a lot this week. Great matchup. All he's got to do is stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he'll have a great game. In fact, I saw a stat. I think in his career, he's had like 7 games where he's gotten at least 12 touches, and he's had a great game every single time. So as long as he can stay healthy and get 12 plus touches, he will have a great game.
Yep.
All right, another super chat from Hans Gross. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Flex PPR, pick one between Landry, Ogunbowale, and Patterson.
Closer.
Getting close. All right, I'm getting there. By 2021, or by 2022. Oh, wait, we are in 22. Crap. All right. Landry, Dare, or Patterson?
I mean, Patterson, we talk about this. You're hoping he gets a touchdown. That's it. He's not getting any receptions for what reason, and he's not been effective as a runner the last couple of weeks either. And Mike Davis is getting involved and going against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, it's basically touchdown or bust. Landry is the opposite. He's probably not going to score a touchdown, but he'll get you a few catches. So if it's PPR, I would go Landry. I'm not going to mention Ogunbowale because look, I'm not starting a Jaguar. Just
Come on, he went 17 for 57 against the Jets last week, and everybody's like, "Oh, no James." I'm like, 57 yards on 17 carries against one of the worst run defenses. Like, nah. I like Landry this week too in PPR. The Steelers, come on, terrible defense. Does he have a massive ceiling? No, because he's Jarvis Landry. He never has a massive ceiling, but he has a very high floor.
right.
All right, super chat from Catacomb Kid. Thank you. Another lot of defense questions this week. Saints or Cowboys?
That's tough because I mean, the Cowboys been so good and getting turnovers and touchdowns. I have these two defenses neck and neck, but I have the Saints one notch higher.
I would go Saints too. I know Arizona's offense hasn't been as good, but I would much rather start a defense against Cam Newton, Sam Darnold than I would against Kyler Murray.
Yes.
So I know the Dallas defense is great in real life, but I still got to go Saints here. And then a kicker question for you: Butker or McPherson?
Oh, you mean Mick Goatson?
Did he miss like 2 kicks last week or something, or like 2 weeks ago or something?
Did he what?
Did he miss like a couple kicks? I don't know.
Last week or 2 weeks. That's ancient history. Bucker missed a week with COVID too, I think. So they're going against each other. I feel better about the Bengals having to kick field goals than the Chiefs. He's been solid all year. It's close, but I like McPherson.
All right, there you go. Another super chat from Mike Jones. Thank you. Jared Patterson. Oh, we didn't mention Antonio Gibson is out. We forgot to mention that. He is out, officially out. So Jared Patterson, Devontae Parker, Zay Jones, or Cole Beasley, PPR.
Not going Cole Beasley. Yeah, how do we forget Antonio Gibson? That's sad that we didn't
I don't know how we
think about
forgot
him.
that. He's out. He's out with COVID.
That's kind of telling that we didn't even think about him. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sad but true. Okay, so Gibson out, Jared Patterson, tempting but risky because look, what is Washington doing on offense these days? Their main running back's gonna be Jared Patterson, a rookie. Their number one tight end based on target share the last 2 weeks is John Bates, a rookie. Last week we saw De'Ami Brown get as many targets as Terry McLaurin. Who's De'Ami Brown? A rookie. And Taylor Heineke's just looking like trash. So I know it's something to throw a starting running back in the lineup, but I'm not going to do it. So I think I would go Devontae Parker.
That's who I was going to say. My other worry with Jared Patterson, everybody just thinks he's going to be the starter. Jonathan, he wasn't even, was he even active last week? It was Jonathan Williams getting all the run behind Antonio Gibson.
Well, Williams scored a touchdown. Actually, I think did Patterson score too? I think they were both active.
Were they both active? So, well, okay, maybe he was active, but
Let me check.
I don't think it's just going to be like Jared Patterson dominating the snaps. I think it's going to be some kind of committee here. But I'm with you. I was going to say Devontae Parker as well. I know Devontae Parker laid a total egg last week somehow, some way. But prior to that, he'd been really solid, and it's the Titans. Terrible against receivers.
Yeah, so Patterson had more carries. He had 9 for 33. Big deal. Jonathan Williams, must have been the other week. Yeah. Anyways, they both played, but
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be all Jarrett Patterson. But I like Parker this week in a great matchup. I think he'll bounce back. So I know it's
Yeah,
scary to
Titans
start a
are one
guy
of the
who just
worst
had
against
0, but
wide receivers still, so it's a good matchup for him.
all right, another super chat from Terry R. Boston Scott, Jarrett Patterson, Cordero Patterson, or Barkley. Oh, who would have thought Barkley would be in this conversation? Half PPR.
Oh man, we're picking one.
Yes, I believe so.
Ouch. Okay, let's cross some names off then. I mean, how low are we on Barkley? Patterson? We'd play Barkley over Patterson, right?
I don't even know. I'm just like I don't want. I'm low on all these guys.
Well, I know. That's why we gotta start somewhere. So,
I mean, okay. The good news for Barkley is Mike Glennon is going to get the start again, and we've seen when Mike Glennon is out there, he dumps it off to Barkley a lot. And at least with Mike Glennon, they can kind of sort of move the ball. Um, so maybe Barkley over these guys. I mean, this is just terrible. This is just. I mean,
give me the list again. Patterson.
Patterson and Patterson, the two Pattersons, Barkley and Boston Scott. Now, maybe if Howard's out, I go Boston Scott. If Howard's out,
Yeah, Sanders out. If Howard doesn't play, then you can just go Boston Scott. I think that's probably the move.
yeah, wow,
If Howard plays, reluctantly, Barkley.
yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. Good luck, my friend. That's a tough spot to be in, and it's sad that Barkley is not just an automatic Week 17. Put him in your lap. Don't worry about it, guy. But here we are. All right, another super chat from Eddie Jameis. I assume Jameis because it's kind of spelled like Jameis Winston, but I could mispronounce it, so I apologize if I did. Trey Lance or Russell Wilson?
I mean, again, the temptation to start the rookie, the guy who can run and all, you've got to have to pass. As down as I am on Russell Wilson, I think in this game he's got Tyler Lockett back, right? And it's Detroit. I think he's okay. So I would go with Russell Wilson, and that's me. And I'm down on Russell Wilson.
I'm tempted to say Trey Lance, but I mean, at least Russell Wilson has a very high floor. Like, you'll get at least like 16, 17, 18 points from Russell Wilson. Trey Lance could completely bomb, right? Trey Lance could completely bomb.
Yeah.
Even though it was a great matchup. So I still think I do have to go Russell Wilson here, even though I am tempted to say Trey Lance, but don't think I could play Trey Lance over Russell Wilson in my championship personally.
No.
All
Not
right,
legitimately.
Tyler Trowbridge, super chat. Thank you. Michelle or Penny, PPR? I think this might be one of our easiest questions.
This is an easy one. Surprisingly, it's Penny.
Yes, definitely Penny. All right, Eddie Jameis again, super chat. T. Higgins, Josh Jacobs, Sony Michelle. I think this is an easy one too for us. Let's see.
Yeah, out of those three, we got Michelle last. T. Higgins, you got to start T. Higgins.
Got to start T. Higgins. All right, another one from Tyler Trowbridge. Pitts. Oh, this will test you. Pitts or Moreau? PPR. How low are you on Pitts?
In that case, I go Pitts. Like,
Yeah.
Burrow could do absolutely nothing. I mean, he's touchdown or nothing, or he's touchdown or bust.
I mean, even touchdown, he might do nothing. That might be his only catch.
Well,
Get you like 8 points with a touchdown.
I mean, look, he could get 8 yards and a touchdown and outscore Pitts. I mean, it's true, but I would go Pitts in that case.
Yeah, definitely Pitts. All right, another super chat from Ryan Leal. Pick two running backs and a DST, a lot of DST. So pick the two running backs between. This is actually tough. Ronald Jones, Penny, Darrell Williams. I like all these guys this week.
Pick two of those. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. I feel like Penny still has the biggest upside of those guys. I think you've got to start him. So we're between Williams and Ronald Jones. The safer pick is Williams, but
yeah.
I have Jones ranked higher. I mean, you're going for that potential week winning upside. I would take the chance with Ronald Jones just because I don't feel like Williams would be necessarily a week winner. Like, he's solid RB2, like a high end RB2 this week.
Yeah.
But Ronald Jones, I mean, he could go for 150 yards and a touchdown.
That's the thing. Ronald Jones, like, Williams is definitely safer. The risk with Ronald Jones, like we said, is he fumbles the first snap or he misses a block. Brady gets, crushed. And they're like, that's it. We can't have Ronald Jones on the field anymore. And then you're staring at your score and it's still stuck on 1 point, right? So they're like, that's the risk. But the upside is just too good here. Too good. If he can just not fumble and be decent blocking, he should get plenty of run. I mean, I think sadly you got to sit Darrell Williams. And then Patriots or Bucks defense.
Patriots or Bucks? Let me see who I got higher. Patriots or Bucks? I got them both. They're the very top, but I got the Bucks higher because it's the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the Jags. Like,
Yeah, the one thing though, the one thing is as horrible as they've been and as bad as Trevor Lawrence has been, and he's got to start taking a lot more responsibility because Urban Meyer's gone. And I know there's still some time and a lot of things that need to change and clean up, whatever. But he's been bad. But he hasn't been turning the ball over lately that much. I know he doesn't throw any touchdowns, but he hasn't been getting picked off a lot. They've been a lot more conservative on offense. So I have a lot more confidence in Zach Wilson throwing interceptions than Trevor
oh
Lawrence.
yeah,
Even if Zach Wilson finishes with more fantasy points and could score a touchdown, I feel like there's definitely more potential for turnovers.
I think they're like 1-2 this week. So
Yeah, I literally have them
personally,
1-2 this week, but I have Tampa Bay 1.
yeah. All right, another super chat from Terry R. Huntley, Taysom Hill, or Lance. So the runners, the running
That
QBs.
is interesting. Okay. Very similar quarterbacks. Okay, so let's talk matchup because that's what's gonna kind of determine it. Taysom Hill goes against Carolina. It's not a great matchup. Carolina's terrible, but that's mainly on offense, right? It's not a terrible defense. They've been at least decent. Huntley's going against the Rams. It's a pretty good defense. I mean, not outstanding like we thought they would be, but that's a pretty good defense. Now Trey Lance goes against Houston. Houston, we know is a terrible defense, but they were better lately, and they just kind of shut down Justin Herbert last week. They're at least fighting, right? They're at least putting up some resistance. I think Taysom Hill is the safest pick here
Yeah,
because the experience. He's got Kamara to put off to. He's going to run it. I mean, they're all going to run it, but Trey Lance has the lowest floor. So I would say it's between Huntley and Hill for me. I would go Hill.
yeah. For me, Huntley's last on this list. I know everybody's going to look at whatever week it was, week 15, when he played and had like 40 fantasy points. Oh my god! But that was against a terrible team, right? This is against a very good defense, who's probably going to be like, okay, Huntley, beat us, right? Like, don't let him run, make him throw the ball. So I think I like Taysom Hill the best here. We've seen he's going to run it a ton. He's going to get goal line looks. So I think I like Taysom Hill the best.
Yeah, well, what happened with Huntley, and everyone's going to remember that one big game, right? We always remember the big game.
Yeah.
But that all his production came in garbage time, basically, or not really garbage time, but come from behind mode. They were
Yeah.
down so big early, they had to scramble, hurry up offense, last minute, fourth quarter, a lot of production. That's why he got so many because a lot of it was when the defense kind of relaxed. They're like, yeah, we got this. So
Yeah.
yeah, don't get too fooled by Huntley's stats in that one game against Green Bay. So I agree that Huntley's not the best pick. I don't know. I think I might trust him a little bit over Lance, but it doesn't matter. I'd still go Hill.
Yeah, go Hill. And then Barrios or MVS.
Yeah, I like Barrios, but I'm gonna go MVS this week.
Yeah, Barrios, like, if you've got like some insanely stacked team and your opponent is like throwing a bunch of waiver wire guys out there because he's got a bunch of injuries and you just need like a safe 12 points, you don't want any risk, then yeah, you can play Barrios. But if you want any kind of upside at all, you got to play MVS for sure. All right, super chat from JT86TN. Another defense question: Dolphins, Saints, or Bears?
This is definitely a record for the most defense questions we've gotten in weeks. Everything matters though, right? In championship week, everything matters. Dolphins would be last on that list for me because
Yeah.
Tennessee's not a team that's going to turn it over much. Say what you want about Tannehill. He's not a guy who's going to get picked off too much. I think it's the same thing we came down to before, right? Bears and Saints. I think you have the
Yeah, I
Saints a
think.
little bit higher. I have the Bears a little bit higher.
Yeah, I just have the Saints a little bit higher because I think they're a better defense, and because it's Cam and Sam Darnold in some form. They're going to turn over and get sacked a lot. But I do like the Bears a lot too. So I think you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah, 50-50.
And then Deontay Johnson or DK Metcalf, full PPR.
I'm down on Deontay Johnson, but I would still put him over DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as down on Deontay Johnson as you are. He did go 6 for 98 against Cleveland in week like 5 when Cleveland was fully healthy, the defense was fully healthy, and they're in Pittsburgh. So that does help a little bit. Yeah, definitely over DK though. Definitely over DK. All right, super chat from Brazina, Ronald Jones or Elijah Mitchell. So we've kind of had this question in some form.
Yeah, even if Mitchell is for sure going to play, it's got to be Ronald Jones.
Yeah, gotta be Ronald Jones. It's too good of a matchup for him. And then a super chat from Justin O. Rashad Penny or Zeke?
Ooh, I mean, Penny could have that week, right? 120 yards, touchdown. I mean, were you putting him over
Or he
Zeke?
could
Who
have that
knows?
week, like 20 yards and he's limping off the field in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He could very much limp off the field halfway through. That's what he does. So I would have to keep Zeke in there.
Yeah, I like Penny a lot this week, but you got to roll Zeke. Like he looks good again. And it's not going to be like last week where they're like, I don't even know if Zeke played in the second half last week, right? They were up so big. It's not going to be like
Yeah,
that. It's not going to be like that this week. They're going to need him. And then another defense question: Chicago or Dallas?
I got Chicago.
Ooh,
Use the Giants. Giants will score 3 points. That is it.
I know, but we know Dallas has a pick six possibility in every game. That the Bears don't. The Bears have no pick sixes in them. I don't even know if they have a pick six this year. Maybe they have one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they don't pick off a lot of passes, but I don't know.
That's the thing.
Arizona, as much as they've been stumbling, at least their offense is at least
Yeah.
competent. You know.
I mean, I think again, it comes down to like ceiling or floor. I think Bears have a nice floor this week. I don't think they really have a big ceiling. Like they're not going to have a 15, 20 point defense game in regular defensive scoring because they're just not going to get that many sacks and that many turnovers.
Yeah, I mean I say it's the same thing. Like if your league prioritizes points scored against the most, if that's what matters, you go with the Bears. If it's more about turnovers and the potential for a pick six, and you want that upside, yeah, then you go with a team like the Saints or the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right, another super chat from Extraordinary Men. Thank you so much. Needs a flex between Rashad Penny, Hunter Renfro, MVS.
For me, it's easy. It's definitely Penny there.
Yes, I agree. Another super chat from Juan Gray. Deontay Johnson or T. Higgins standard scoring.
I'll go T. Higgins. I mean, it's standard scoring, especially. I mean, PPR, you might give the edge, but even lately, T. Higgins has been getting more targets than Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I don't. In standard, I think for sure T. Higgins. I don't like. I'm not as high on T. Higgins as a lot of people this week because the Chiefs secondary has been very good, and I do think we see the Bengals go back to their old, run the ball 60% of the time because Chiefs run defense is not very good. But in standard scoring, definitely T. Higgins. Definitely T. Higgins. Roberto, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. Good to see you. I'm sure we'll see you tomorrow morning as well. Boston Scott, if Howard is out. MVS, St. Brown, or Sony Michelle, pick 2.
Tough choices here. Okay. So if Howard is out, does Boston Scott beat out all those other guys? And this is PPR, I assume, right?
I think all his leagues are PPR.
His PPR. Okay. It's tempting. It's tempting to go Boston Scott. I don't know. I mean, there's risk. MVS, I like MVS this week, but there's risk, obviously, right? You can take that risk over a guy like Michelle, who you know is going to get the touches, but doesn't really have the ceiling. I mean, I'm the type of guy I always shoot for upside, right? You know this, right, Chris? You
Yeah.
know you agree with me in this. If you know a guy's going to get 8 points, like tell me 8 to 10 points for sure, but that's it. Are you going to roll with that guy or go with the guy, what's behind door number 3 with a question mark and you could get the goat or you could get the prize, right? I'm going to go with door number 3. So I would take MVS over Michelle. That's by the way, let's make a deal reference for those who have no idea what I'm talking
Yeah. Those who are
about.
younger
Totally
than
confused.
40.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I'm gonna scratch Michelle. Let's just put it that way. All right. So who are their choices? There's
Well,
3
Scott, MVS, and St. Brown.
and St. Brown. Okay, St. Brown should be one of them.
Yeah,
Right.
St. Brown definitely won. That's the easy one for me.
And then I would go with MVS.
Yeah, because look, it's not like Scott is risky too.
Right.
So and MVS has more upside against Minnesota. So I would go St. Brown and MVS. That would be my choices. And then on this other team, Darrell Williams, Mike Williams, Renfro, or MVS also picked 2.
Darrell Williams, I think, has got to be one.
Yeah.
Mike Williams is interesting coming off the list. He's playing. Do we worry that he might have complications, after effects, short of breath, limited reps? A lot of guys who came back either didn't play a full game or were limited. Tyreek Hill, we talked about. Myles Gaskin, remember, he came off the list and he played, but he didn't even get any touches, hardly any. And then last week, he's just been phased out. But, I mean, that's a concern, right? Mike Williams, don't you have to be a little worried?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to be worried. I think I would just go Darrell Williams, MVS.
Yeah, I mean, Williams, you look at it and think, well, that's guy I got to play, but not necessarily, because there's risk there, and it's not a good matchup anyways. All right, going against Denver. So.
All right, another super chat. Tyler Trowbridge again. Last one. Jalen Hurts or Matt Stafford?
Ooh, well, let me say this about Matt Stafford. I always expect him to do better than he does for the most part. He hasn't been super sharp this whole season, in some games. And I know you look at Baltimore, you think he could throw for 500 yards. I don't think it's a slam dunk. I really don't. Hurts has a good matchup, right? Hurts has that rushing upside. I think Hurts, this might sound weird. I think Hurts is the safer play. That's just the way I see it. But Stafford is a guy who has that upside. So I would shoot for Stafford's upside, but I don't think it's a slam dunk. He has a massive game.
No, it's definitely not a slam dunk with Stafford that he has a massive game, but the matchup is so good. And I'm a little worried about Jalen Hurts with the ankle, even though he's played the last 2 games. He hasn't been running as much the last 2 games. And I do wonder if that ankle's not fully 100% yet. So I do worry a little bit with that. I think I would just go with Stafford. I mean, as hard as it is for me to say, I think I would go with Stafford in that ball. I mean, if he can't have a monster game against Baltimore, then the Rams are in trouble this year. They're in trouble for sure. Like it's got. I mean, Joe Burrow basically has scored like half his fantasy point. Not really, but he scored like 20% of his fantasy points in the 2 Baltimore games this year. It's crazy. So gotta like Stafford.
You gotta take a chance with Stafford. It's just hard because Hurts, last time he played Washington a couple weeks ago, he almost had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he definitely outscore Stafford, but I think you got to take the chance for the monster game.
Yeah. And then super chat from Leo Cool. Another defense question. Cardinals, Chiefs, Steelers, or Giants?
Giants? Oh, no. I know they play the Bears, but I don't want anything to do with the Giants anything. So, no. Did you say Steelers too?
Yes.
Okay, we're not touching the Steelers defense at all. So basically it comes down to the Cardinals, which is not a good play against the Cowboys at all. So Saints?
Chiefs.
Or Chiefs?
It was a Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are okay this week against Cincinnati. Burrow, their defense has been, I mean, it's not great. I don't love it, but their defense has been better. The defense has been good. We know Burrow will take sacks. We know Burrow will turn it over. They probably aren't going to be, they're probably not going to be a great defense, but they're probably going to be better than those defenses.
Yeah, because the others are pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Steelers is just bad.
Yeah, Steelers like, oh. All right, another super chat from Ronnie Santana. Thank you so much. Pick 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and a QB in Superflex. So let's start with the running backs. We got Stevenson, Hunt, Wilson Jr., Boston Scott.
I mean, if Hunt plays and he's clear, I think Hunt's the guy you play.
Yeah, against the Steelers, I think you got to go Hunt if he plays. I will say I do also like Wilson if Mitchell is out, but I don't think Mitchell's going to be out because he's practiced all week. I think he's going to play. And then 2 wide receivers between DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, or MVS. I know we're going to differ on this one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would put MVS over Metcalf. I would. And I would go to Ayuk.
Well, this is where we're going to differ. I would go MVS and Metcalf. I'll take my chances with Metcalf against Detroit. I get it. Ayuk has another great matchup. Hey, that's like the 5th week in a row. He's got this incredible can't miss, smash matchup, and he misses. And he just keeps missing, and he keeps missing, and he keeps missing. I'm not
I mean, he
falling
hasn't
for it anymore.
missed. I mean, he hasn't been bad.
He had like 2 double-digit games, I think, where he scored a touchdown. I think the other games were single digits, if I'm not mistaken, over that stretch. You can look it up and let me know, but I'm pretty sure,
Okay. I mean, because he scored that touchdown last week, that saved his day. He had a
Yes,
decent
exactly.
Before that, Atlanta, he did nothing, right? Okay,
Yes,
he did nothing.
Atlanta,
That,
he did nothing. And it's Trey Lance.
True.
Like, I'm taking my chances. I'm not playing Brandon Ayuk this week. I'm sorry. I know it's a great match, but I'm done with Brandon Ayuk. I'll see you in 2022, Brandon. Well, it already is 22. I'll see you in the 2022 fantasy football season, Brandon Ayuk. Hopefully, you can come through for me then. And then for his quarterback, Trey Lance or Taysom Hill.
Well,
I think you already answered this one.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah. All right, another super chat from Aaron Albano. Thank you so much, guys. Wow, like really appreciate you guys coming through here at the end for us. Don't forget, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you can help us out by doing that as well.
Yes.
All right, Herbert. I'm Khalil Herbert, not Justin Herbert, right? Because this is like a running back question. I'm gonna assume Khalil Herbert. I'm gonna say no. Just no to Khalil. Like, come on, can't start Khalil Herbert. Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, Debo Pitts, bench Burrow. Hold on.
It sounds like he's listening to his whole lineup.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what your question. I don't. All right, see these. We had a question like this last week too, and like you need to tell us what you're asking here because you list. Okay, Justin Herbert is your quarterback. Okay. Then you got Aaron Jones and Eckler. Okay. And you got Justin Jefferson and Debo. Okay. And then you got Pitts as your tight end. Okay. And then you got Suckup as your kicker. And you got 49ers as your defense. And then you're flexing Damon Harris. Oh, okay. I get it now. Okay. So, all right. Okay. I apologize. I get it now. Herbert or Burrow?
Could have just said Herbert Burrow.
Well, he listed his starting lineup and then he listed his bench at the end. So I have to compare his bench to his starting lineup and try to figure out, do we make any changes? So Herbert or Burrow?
And that's, you know what, it did exactly what we said in the beginning. I said, give as much detail as possible. So he's like, hey, here's my whole roster.
Yeah, here's my whole team.
So that's smart. No, we're down on Burrow. I had Burrow as a bust this week. And bust, not that he's going to be the worst quarterback, but he's not going to throw for 500 yards. I think I have him at 250, maybe 2 touchdowns. But no, Herbert, I feel pretty good about. I know Denver's a good defense, but he went for 300 yards last time. He's got Eckler back, so I go Herbert over Burrow.
Yeah, so I'll say, okay, so he's got Justin Jefferson and Debo as wide receivers. Do we play Lamb over Justin Jefferson this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I would go Lamb over Justin Jefferson. And then we said Everett over Pitts.
Yeah.
Right?
Sadly.
And now that brings us to the flex. Do we flex Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds, or Justin Jefferson?
If Damian Harris is playing, he's a full go. It's Damian Harris. If he doesn't play, then you go to Chase Edmonds. But of course, it also depends.
But what if Connor's out?
Right? So let's pretend James Conner is out, doesn't play, which is a very real chance. They have him as a game time decision, which basically just means they're going to wait till 5 minutes before kickoff to tell us he's not playing. So
exactly.
If Conner doesn't play, I think I might go with Edmonds as the flex.
Yes, if Connor's out, I like Edmonds over both those guys because we saw last week is like he's getting tons of catches, he's getting tons of carries. It's like and we saw that with Connor, right? When Evans wasn't there, like they just lean on that one guy. So I agree. Like if Connor's out, which looks likely, I would go Evans in the flex. If Harris plays, I would go Harris. Otherwise, Jefferson. I'm glad we figured that out. A little confusion there, we figured it out. All right, another super chat from Stone Mason Jar. Pick 3 between Zeke, Ronald Jones, Rashad Penny. Well, I'm going to say not Cordero Patterson in that group for sure.
Yeah, so the first 3.
All right, and then another super chat from Cody Bear 60 again. Thank you. Another defense question. Green Bay or Eagles?
I'm glad you got the Eagles. I mean, you watched the video a couple weeks ago or talked about the top defensive streamers. They've been pretty good. I have Eagles number 7 defensively this week. Um, I mean, the matchup is Washington. Washington's offense is basically a bunch of rookies. So I like the Eagles.
I did like the Eagles more until the Mannion effect. Now I kind of like the Packers because at least one thing with Heineke is he can put points on the board sometimes. And the Eagles defense prior to last week, they're not really they don't get a lot of sacks or a lot of turnovers. Now they did. They had that pick six last week, which was nice, but they're not a team that really gets a lot of sacks or a lot of turnovers. I think I got to go with the Packers against Sean Mannion. I just think they have more upside. I guess when it comes to my defenses, I look for the upside because getting 4 or 5 points from your defense, it's like whatever. You might as well get 7 points or 8 points. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's true. I feel like I don't know, against Washington, I think there's a lot of upside there because I know the Eagles aren't one of those teams that get a ton of turnovers, but there's definitely opportunity. They do get pressure on the quarterback. That's the one thing Philadelphia has maintained. They have a pretty good defensive line. They'll get some sacks, so I feel good about that. Um, Look, Heineke, he's just looking bad, but just the whole offense around him. No Gibson, you know, I think there's enough upside for me that the Eagles are the safer play. It depends how bad you think Manning's going to do. I mean, I know he's
Terrible.
not. Obviously, we know he's not a professional starting quarterback, but I think
Not
there's
only
some
that,
ways.
he didn't get to practice this week. It was basically like
Yeah,
wake up Friday morning, and it's like, oh hey, you're the starting quarterback now. Wait, what? He had no practice. He's had no practice. He like, okay, you got to practice on Friday, but what did they do on Friday? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess, well, maybe you
yeah.
got to practice. Maybe you got to practice today because they play Monday nights. So they probably practice today too. But still,
Yeah. I don't think one day of practice is going to make a difference for him, but I just feel like they might run the ball 30 plus times, only have him pass it if needed. Just conservative game plan. But
all right.
anyway,
Then
that's the West.
another super chat from Flight Zone Music. Thank you, Penny, Damien Harris, Sony Michelle, and Jeff Wilson needs two.
The first two.
First two, definitely. Now, what about if Damien Harris is out? Then it's Sony Michelle, right?
Yeah, it's Michelle.
Yeah, because it looks like Elijah Mitchell at the minimum is going to play. All right, Axe Attack 100 super chat. Thank you, Gronk or Elijah Mitchell in the flex, full PPR. Gronk has not been smashing. Gronk has been disappointing. Like
He
Gronk
really
should be
hasn't.
smashing and he's not smashing.
Yeah, like I whiffed on that one. I thought last week was the week of Gronk. I thought he was going to totally go off, and it was all Antonio Brown. I'm not sure why, because they just didn't target him, and why didn't they target him? I don't know. I don't know why. Um,
Well, this is the thing about Tampa Bay that we have to start thinking about. We've talked about it a couple times. They are eyeing the playoffs. They are not eyeing week 17, week 18. So if they feel like the best thing for Gronk is to not play him very much and not get him beat up, that's what they're going to do. And maybe that's what they're doing, right? Maybe they're just like, hey, we'd rather have Cameron Braid out there, let him take the hits, let him get beat up because we need Gronk in the postseason. So maybe that's what's going on.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I think last week a lot of it was just because they won so easily. They just really didn't have to throw it that much. And when they did, it was to Antonio Brown because he had been gone so long, right? They're trying to get him back in the flow and get him, acclimated. And are they going to have to throw much against the Jets? No. I think if Evans and AB are out, I think you got to play Gronk. If if one of those guys is active, you probably go Mitchell. Even Mitchell, it's full PPR, so that's the thing. Mitchell's upside is probably going to be limited this week.
I don't know. I
I
think
don't
I
know. I
still
probably would just go Gronk.
I don't know. I was gonna say I'd probably go Mitchell either way, just because the matchup is so good.
Yeah.
I just worry with Gronk, like they're just like we don't need Gronk right now. Like we don't need it. Like just like we don't need AB, we don't need Evans, we don't need these guys right now, right? It's the Jets. We could beat the Jets. So
Yeah, there's still to beat him, but I mean, Brady's going to want him out there, I would think. Like if both AB and Mike Evans sit, I think you got to play Gronk.
I mean, yeah, if they're both out, then you probably do have to, because I mean, we say who else is he going to throw to, but then he's probably going to target like Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller a bunch and Cameron Braid a bunch, and we'll be like, why is he not throwing to Gronk again? So, all right, I think we got through all the super chats. Thank you guys. Let's get to the questions. Michael Dobbs, good to see you. Hopefully you're in the championship. I think that'd be 2 years in a row for you. St. Brown or Deontay Johnson PPR?
Oh man, St. Brown. I mean, I'm down on Deontay Johnson. Am I that down? It's tough it's tough to get a read on the Steelers for me, just because their offense has been so inconsistent. I know Deontay Johnson usually gets a ton of targets, but the last couple weeks has been a little different. Um, I just worry that this game just not going to have a lot of offense. Maybe Big Ben, now he's officially told everybody he's done, he'd just go all out, right? Maybe he'll just try to have him like one last hurrah. but
Yeah, that's
um,
kind of what I'm feeling. Like, it's his last home game. He's gonna find one more one more good game, before he retires. Here's my thing when I look at these two. Like, everybody's down on Deontay Johnson, but he's still been great. He's had one game with less than 11 fantasy points, and he got you 9.8. Like, I know St. Brown's been the hot new thing lately, but it's not like St. Brown has this massive ceiling. Plus, Swift is back, so he could eat into, we could see more passes to Swift and less to St. Brown. I just think I can't bet Deontay Johnson for St. Brown. I can't do it.
yeah, that would be the only thing is it's his last home game. He's just gonna, like, we know his favorite target's Deontay Johnson, right? That's
Yeah.
his guy. He's already come out and said that's his guy. So yeah, probably Deontay Johnson, mainly because Goff is still out, and I know it didn't matter last week with St. Brown. He's been great. Um,
Also,
but Seattle,
Seattle has been better in the secondary.
yeah, Seattle has been limiting production to wide receivers. Will DeAndre Swift coming back make a difference? Yeah, it might. So I guess Deontay Johnson's a little bit better.
Wow, a little bit better. That hurts.
A little bit better.
All right, Dollar Bill, what's up, fellas? Good luck tomorrow. You too, Dollar Bill. Happy New Year. Good to see you in here. I don't know if you're still in here, but if you are, well, we see you in the Discord anyways. Ron T, flex one between AJ Green, Deontay Harris, Braxton Berrios, or Zay Jones in PPR. There is a group. There's a
Finally,
group.
Zay Jones. I was waiting for Zay Jones to surface. So I did say I got Zay Jones over Hunter Renfrow this week. Zay Jones has been the leading receiver for the Raiders. Darren Waller, of course, still out. The Colts do give up points against, wide receivers. That's the one thing that they do. They kind of a bend don't break defense. I like Zay Jones as a sneaky start this week. Do I like him over those other guys? Maybe. uh, what were the first three again? Let me make sure.
AJ Green, Deontay Harris, Braxton Berrios, Zay Jones.
I can't go Deontay Harris.
No.
He was good earlier in the season. I wouldn't go him. AJ Green, no, I wouldn't go him this week because Cowboys just tough. Yeah, I think. And again, I like Barrios, but the floor, is a few points. The ceiling is limited, so I would go Zay Jones.
I mean, I don't like any of these guys, honestly.
Gotta get on the Zay Jones train. Zay
I mean,
train.
okay, what is Zay Jones' ceiling been lately?
All right, last week 6 catches, 50 yards. Week before 6 catches, 67 yards.
That sounds like that sounds like Braxton Berrios.
It sounds like Braxton Berrios. I get it. Well, who has a better chance to score a touchdown?
Didn't Braxton Berrios have a touchdown within the last couple of games?
That's a good point. But still. All right, so maybe it is Braxton Berrios. I just want Zay Jones to be a thing this week. If nothing else, I want him to be a thing.
Okay. I mean, it is Indy. They are worse against the pass than the run. There is opportunity there. There is no Darren Waller. Yeah, Braxton Berrios has no ceiling. I might roll Zay Jones too, because the floor is probably the same for the two of them, and maybe Zay Jones does have a higher ceiling. So, I mean, I don't really like any of these guys, to be honest. So,
it's between those two. I'll go Zay Jones, just a slight advantage.
All right, super chat from Adam Harrison. Full point PPR 3 wide receivers and 1 flex. So let's start with the wide receivers. I mean, you got to start Tyreek Hill. I know he was bad last week, but he's coming off COVID. We talked about it. Tyreek Hill said after the game he was exhausted. He said he was exhausted. That's the worry with these guys coming off COVID. But you got to start Tyreek Hill this week. I think you got to start T. Higgins this week. So then between Amon-Ra St. Brown, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf, one more.
Haven't talked about Amari Cooper yet this week. I mean, it's an okay matchup. It's not great. He's been okay, but not great lately. He hasn't had any of his kind of signature big games. I don't know if this will be a big game, so I would go with St. Brown.
Yeah, I think I go St. Brown over him too. And then for flex, so Cooper Metcalf or Javonte Williams or Melvin Gordon, but I think we're both higher on Javonte than Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, a little higher in Javante this week. I would take the chance with Javante. He has that massive upside.
I agree. I agree. There you go. All right, King Marcelo, super chat. Thank you from a king.
All right.
Do I trust Matt Gay? Oh, it's a kicker question. Do I trust Matt Gay in a rain game, or do I get like Elliott or Bass? So Matt Gay, Elliott, or Bass?
Okay, I know. Yeah, there is some risk there. Not ideal weather
Okay, I'll
situation.
say, is it windy or rainy?
Well, I mean, we don't know right now. It's a little early, but I haven't really fully looked at the the
I mean, kickers.
weather.
I only worry about kickers when it's windy.
They're saying 15-mile-per-hour winds, partly
Yeah,
cloudy, 59 degrees.
I don't think that is an impact for a kicker.
Yeah, I mean, it could be some rain. It could be some wind. Justin Tucker laughs at that. So, uh, Tyler
Yeah,
Bass, he's not in a great situation. It's a home game. It's going to be cold, but there's no wind or rain. Going against Atlanta could easily put up some points there. I think Bass is a little bit safer. So I would probably go with Bass.
and then this is a question that I don't even want any part of, but Marquise Brown, Gabriel Davis, or Brandon Ayuk in PPR?
All right. Well, I'll answer it for you. It's Brandon Ayuk. I mean, just because we don't like the other two, right?
I guess I don't like uh, just pain. Having to start one of those guys is just pain. All right, and then he also asks another super chat. Najee Harris, both Broncos running backs, Sony Michel, Boston Scott, Ronald Jones, pick 3. Well, I think Najee and Ronald Jones are musts out of those.
Yes.
And then do we like Javonte more than Sony Michel and Boston Scott?
Yes.
Yes. So Najee, Ronald Jones, and Javonte will be your choices there. John Carrier, I see a super chat, but the message was retracted. So if you have a message, let me know. All right, so let's get back to these questions. Man, thanks, guys. This is by far our most popular live stream we've ever done. So thank you, guys. Oh, and now YouTube's gonna hose me, isn't it? Let's see.
But that's good. That means we got a lot of viewers who were in it to win it, right? Final week, a lot of championships.
Yeah, and YouTube. Why does it do this? Let me see if I can get to it here. Nope. All right. Well, I apologize, guys. YouTube just, I don't know why YouTube does this. When we get so many comments, it cuts off the comments at the top. So I don't know where I'm at in here, but we'll just start going down. Spencer Anagnost, apologies if I mispronounced that. What do you think about rolling out the Browns defense? Man, not bad. I mean, it's Big Ben.
Not bad. Not
We
bad.
get sacked, he'll turn it over.
I mean, I don't know what your other choice would be. Browns are kind of a mid-tier defense for me this week. They're not going to be a top 10 choice, but they're not at the bottom either.
And another defense question from Tool Army: Bears or Eagles?
I got the Bears a little bit higher.
Yeah, I like the Bears better. In fact, I actually dropped the Eagles for the Bears in one of my championships. We talked about Philly versus Washington. We like All right, Alex Holsclaw at flex. Who should I start? PPR, MVS, AJ Dillon, Jarrett Patterson.
MVS.
Definitely MVS. Rob, start Kelsey or Kittle in standard.
Wow. You got both of those guys? Interesting build. Oh, well, I got to go Kelsey. I know last week you've been disappointed, but
Well, he
Could
didn't play.
be back in full action, but
Yeah, I don't worry about guys like Kelsey or Eckler as much because they got cleared like Monday. Like they almost played last week and they got cleared. So they've had the full week to recover. So I think he'll be fine. I got to go Kelsey. And then
yeah, we don't know what the Lance Kittle connection is going to look like.
that's the other thing. Yes, we got Lance. Bendigo's Toth. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Renfro or Elijah Mitchell half PPR.
Like Elijah Mitchell. I mean, I'm not crazy down on Renfro. Like, absolutely must sit him, but I think the upside is capped, and Mitchell does have that upside.
I agree. J Duval 9. I've been hearing Sony as a championship winning start. I just can't buy in. Neither can I. Look at what Chubb did in the 2 games against Baltimore. People are like, "Oh, Sony Michel's just going to go off." Like he's not as good as Nick Chubb. I'm sorry. Let's see. Killer Kev 4201. I pick one between Landry, Parker, MVS. You're not going to play Perryman or Barrios. So pick one between Landry, Parker, MVS.
I mean, I think it's between Parker and MVS for me. Both have the best matchups on paper. I I feel like MVS has the higher upside, so I'd go with him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him too. Silviano, Salcedo, Cordero Patterson, or Daryl Williams?
Definitely Darrell Williams.
Definitely Daryl Williams. Let's see. Here's a kicker one for you. Joe Kalicki, Bass or Hopkins?
Go with Bass. I think he's solid. I mean, he's always got high upside based on that offense. Going against Atlanta, he could put up a lot of points.
Okay, there you go. There we go. Get rid of this guy spamming. Don't spam, guys. If you spam, I'm just going to block you, and then we won't even get your question. Thank you. All right, Jamel Elliott, pick 2 between Devonta Smith, Javonta Williams, James Conner, DJ Moore, Kendrick Bourne. I think we can eliminate Kendrick Bourne.
We could definitely eliminate Kendrick Bourne. He hasn't done much at all lately. I think we got to put Javante in there.
Yeah. And then, so let's assume James Conner plays. Do we play him over DJ Moore and Devonta Smith?
I would go Devontae Smith. I'm down on Moore this week. I mean, too much risk, and I think Smith is a good spot. Look, Washington banged up on defense. He had a decent game against them last time, so Devontae.
Oh, this one hurts me. Rajiv Randhawa. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Aaron Jones or Deontay Johnson?
I mean, I want to say Aaron Jones because great matchup for him, but
Yeah.
are we sure he's going to be the lead back? We just don't know, right? I mean, if he doesn't score a touchdown, we've seen that the floor isn't very high, which is weird, but that's just how it is. So I kind of think you have to go Deontay Johnson.
I mean, I would probably play Deontay Johnson. He's my guy. I've been talking about since the early offseason, saying he was going to be a league winner. So I'd probably have to roll him because he's
I'm
been my
surprised you're
guy.
even hesitating based on what you've said about Aaron Jones last
I know, but Aaron Jones, it looked like last week. It looked like Aaron Jones finally took the backfield back over, and it's such a good matchup. But I still got to go with my guy Deontay. All right, Jai, would you start both Ronald Jones and Keyshawn Vaughn versus the Jets if Evans and AB are out?
I think you could do that. I really think you can because we saw Vaughn did get some carries last week. We know you can definitely get some carries this week if both those guys are out. And that's the thing we were saying about Gronk is you almost have to. I think you almost have to start him if both those guys are out. Who's to say that they don't get 30 carries plus between the two of them?
I agree. I think if both of them are out, then you can think about it. If one of them are in, then I think it's too risky. All right, we got another super chat from Nigel Milosev. Thank you. Pick one running back and one flex. So the running back choices are Dare Ogun Boale. Did I get it yet?
You're like 90%.
All right. Boston Scott, Jordan Howard, Jarrett Patterson. Oof. Oof. Oof.
We're picking one.
One running back.
I would venture to say that the Eagles' choice would be the best. I think if Jordan Howard plays, it's him. If he doesn't, it's Boston Scott.
Yeah, I think out of that group, You go with one of them. I think your best case is that Jordan Howard doesn't play, and then you could feel somewhat decent about Boston Scott. And then I'm going to say we're not going to flex one of those guys. So are we going to flex Gallup or MVS?
Probably MVS.
Yeah, MVS. Got to go for that upside. Got to go for that upside. All right, super chat from John Carrier. Needs 3 in a standard league. Elijah Mitchell, Rashad Penny, Damian Harris. Ooh, these are some good choices. Aaron Jones or Javonte Williams.
I'm going to work backwards because I think those last choices seem like the best. I mean, I feel like Javonte and Aaron Jones, you want to put in there.
I mean, I feel like if Damian Harris plays, especially in the standard scoring, that's a must.
Yeah, standard scoring. Okay, same again.
Mitchell, Penny, Harris, Jones, Williams, Javonte. I mean, it's tough. You have to sit some of these guys. That's what's tough.
Yeah. So of those in the standard scoring, I would scratch Mitchell. I feel like Penny has to be in there.
I know. I almost want to say Penny over Aaron Jones in standard.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
I almost want to say Penny, Harris, and Williams.
Yeah. That's actually what I'm thinking now. Now that I think about it, because Jones, of course, has that touchdown upside, but Penny has that 100-yard rushing upside. So does Harris, and well, so does Javonte. Javonte, it's between Javonte and Aaron Jones, but Javonte has the better matchup.
Yeah, Javonte last time against the Chargers had 111 total yards and a touchdown. So
yeah, I mean, tough to sit Aaron Jones this week, but with those choices, yeah, if Damian Harris plays, yeah, you can't in the standard scoring. Yeah, you have to play him.
and then another super chat from William Boyer. Thank you so much. PPR flex: St. Brown, Daryl Williams, Ronald Jones. Can only pick one of those. Oh man.
The highest the highest ceiling goes to Ronald Jones.
Yeah, I think that's who I go with.
I mean, the others, Daryl Williams, I guess might be the safer pick, but not really. I think I'd just go Ronald Jones.
Yeah, I think I just go Ronald Jones, and he did. I mean, he said he has Hill and Kelsey. I mean, yeah, you don't really want like your half your team to be Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because if they have a bad game, you're pretty much done, right? You're done. But I like Ronald Jones better than those guys, anyways.
Yeah.
All right, another one from Nigel Milosov. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. Schultz or Everett? I mean, I gotta go Schultz. Pretty.
Yeah, Schultz is really solid lately. Pretty good matchup. So
Yeah. Let's see. Everett Scale, Super Chat, Kamara, Cook, Ronald Jones, or Montgomery. Just picking one of those? Can't just be one of those.
Cook, like Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, standard scoring. Cook, Ronald Jones. I mean, to me, it's like okay. I'll say this because he didn't say how many to pick. Here's how I would rank them: the standard scoring: Cook, Montgomery, Ronald Jones, Kamara. You agree?
Yes.
There
Exactly.
you go. Cook, Montgomery, Ronald Jones, Kamara. So if you need to start 2, you start Cook and Montgomery. If you need to start 3, you start Cook, Ronald Jones, Montgomery. If you only need to start 1, you start Cook. There, covered it.
Yep. That's
Covered
exactly it.
it. All right, another super chat. Thank you so much, guys. Wow, so generous tonight. Really appreciate it. Christian Kane, half PPR, flex either Deontay Johnson or Jalen Waddle.
Go with my boy Waddle.
I
mean,
think so.
You notice, by the way, New Year, the Dolphins hat is back. My old grudges.
They might make the playoffs as crazy as it sounds.
They might, and that's not why. Look, even though I understand the fair weather fan was invented in South Florida, but I'm not a fair weather fan. I had the flag up, right? You had the Washington flag up when they were really bad the last few years.
They're still really bad, so
yeah,
no fair weatherness over here. They're still really bad.
No, we stand by our teams. But, the whole Tua thing and the Deshaun Watson thing is over, the grudges, we're letting bygones be bygones. Okay, but the point is I like Waddle this week because Tennessee is one of the worst against wide receivers. Waddle is that passing game. He's going to get a ton of targets. And it's not just that Tennessee gives up a lot to wide receivers. They've been essentially a funnel defense. They're shutting down running games. And the Dolphins don't really have a running game. So I think they're going to have to pass a lot in this game. And this is a must win for both teams. They're fighting for the playoffs, not just the Dolphins, but the Titans, right? Kind of trying to hang on to what they got. So I think we're going to see a ton of targets to Waddle. I got him as a top 10 easy wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree. You got to start Jalen Waddle. I think he's a wide receiver 7 over the last 5 or 6 weeks or so. But that's in full PPR. This is half, but still, you got to start Waddle. I mean, it's not like Deontay Johnson gets a benefit from half PPR. So, and then Jarrett Patterson or Rex Burkhead. Our first Rex Burkhead question.
And we both said don't drink the Kool-Aid. Rex Burkhead, career game last week. Well, maybe he had one better game, but look, before last
Probably
week,
not.
probably not. I think there was like one game in Cincinnati where he scored like 3 touchdowns, but he probably didn't have
Okay.
that many yards. I
All
don't know.
right.
He was averaging before last week 2.8 yards per carry. He had 1 touchdown all year, and he scored 2 last week. Last week, it's like it just didn't happen, right? Let's just pretend that there's a blip, and then we fast forward, and like, so you get that reference.
Yeah.
So the Rex Burkhead, is the same Rex Burkhead who shouldn't be started in fantasy. It's not the Chargers' run defense. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Don't start Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, not really high on Jarrett Patterson, but I'm higher on him than Rex Burkhead. And then Nigel Miles said real quick, not liking Ugun Boale. Oh,
You just dropped like 20. It was like at a 90. Now you're at like a 60.
Or Jarrett Patterson. I mean, no, not really liking them personally. Not liking them myself.
What is it? Do we like Ogunbowale over Jared Patterson?
No, do we like either of them? Not really.
No.
Like
No.
I like him more than Rex Burkhead, but like I don't like him more than most guys.
Yeah.
Tomboy Respecter super chat, thank you, with the Toronto Raptors logo. I wonder if he's from Toronto. Claypool or Van Jefferson at the flex? We haven't had a question about either of these guys.
Claypool, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming because everyone realized Claypool's not playable anymore. I mean, he's just off of him. The Browns, like I said, kind of a mid-tier defense. They've been better lately. I mean, they're getting some pieces back in the secondary, so it's not a great matchup. If Big Ben has his kind of like farewell send-off game, it's going to be Deontay Johnson that benefits. I don't feel a big game from Claypool. I mean, you feel the same way?
Yeah, and at least Van Jefferson. Look, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd all had very good games last week.
Yes.
So even though Cooper Kupp's probably going to break fantasy this week, and Odell Beckham's probably gonna have a good game, Van Jefferson can have a good game too. There's enough.
But what happens? Like I said, they do that crazy thing. They triple team Cooper Kupp, and they're like, "Okay, you will not beat us." Van Jefferson could be standing there in the end zone by himself, like this, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. If you look at that Green Bay game when they triple teamed Adams, Adams still had a great game that game, but MVS went off that game, right? Because there's like he was going against like fourth string corners. He just was running wide open all over the field. So I don't think they're going to do that because that didn't really work. Didn't really work.
No.
But there's enough here for all three of these receivers. So definitely for me, Van Jefferson over Claypool.
Yeah.
And then this one's easily Kareem Hunt or Ogun Ale. I'm getting worse.
It's yeah. It was so much better before. Okay, so no, definitely not.
Definitely
no
Kareem Hunt.
Jaguars. Let's just make a rule. Can we just make a rule? Should we have said this up front? No Jaguars, no Giants.
Yeah, no Jaguars, no Giants. All right, super chat from Andrew Hernandez. Seahawks or Rams defense? So many defense questions tonight.
The Rams defense, you got to feel pretty good about. I mean, I know everyone's going to think, said that Huntley's this, that, whatever. That was garbage time stats. Not taking anything away from him. He's a talented guy, but he needs a lot more experience under his belt. So it's a good spot for the Rams.
Yeah, definitely gotta go Rams. All right, should we go? We've been chatting a long time. It's good. We have a lot of questions. It's championship week. Got to help you guys out. Should we get some rapid fire here?
Let's do it. I think we're out of the super chats, so let's try to answer as many as we can. So again, give detail if possible, but we're just going to give you our gut feels, our thoughtful responses, and just whatever comes to mind. We want to try to get you the win, but again, if you want more information, you want to get opinions from everybody in the community, our community, which is growing. We have a Discord. We mentioned it a couple times. Always in there. A lot of guys talking about their lineups, trades, dynasty, waiver wire, whatever. We have our underdog contest that we run each and every week. You can join that channel too and, take part in the action. By the way, you don't know what underdog is, find out, join underdog, use promo code endgame, get in the action. But point is, we have a lot of ways we can help you besides just this. So
Yes.
just because we're, off the air here tonight doesn't mean we're done.
Yeah, look down in the description. There's a link to the Discord. Get in there. Get your question answered either by us or by other really knowledgeable people if we missed you tonight. We just got a super chat came in from Drunken Hamster. Thank you. Needs an RB2 flex and a tight end. Okay, so let's start with the RB2. Sony Michel, Darrell Williams, Javonte Williams.
It's got to be Javonte.
See, I'm a little more Darrell just because I like the little bit safety of Darrell, but I get the Javonte. Love. I think you're okay either way there. Maybe we'll flex both of them. So flex. His other choices would be St. Brown or Darrell Williams or Sony Michel. See, okay, so we can probably roll Darrell Williams and Javonte Williams. I think I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think St. Brown is nice play, but probably safer to go with the running backs.
Yeah, I would go with the running backs there. And then tight end, Hunter Henry or Gerald Everett.
That's close. We talked about this earlier. I have Hunter Henry a little higher. I think Everett's been getting some attention. It's good, and the matchup's good. But I really think Hunter Henry, this might be one of his weeks to score once or twice because I just don't got much else.
See, I had this exact decision in one of my championship games, and I went with Everett. But my team is really stacked, and I just wanted like the safe 8 to 10 points. Because Henry, if he doesn't score, could get you like 2 points.
True.
But I think it's very close. So that was my thought process when I had the same exact decision. I went Everett, but I was looking for like kind of safe floor. Henry could certainly outscore him because Henry could have 2 touchdowns against Jag. Now, if Jacoby Myers gets ruled out, maybe I'll grab Henry and put him in. Because then.
Yeah, that's something to watch because Myers is questionable. Damian Harris questionable. Look, if Damian Harris doesn't go for some reason, that's even better for Hunter Henry. We don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see. All right. James Boblet, DJ Moore. So here we go. Rapid fire. James Boblet, DJ Moore, Renfro, PPR.
Renfro.
Yeah, actually, sadly. Don't really like either, but
yeah.
Sadly. Andrea Stislowski. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Needs 2 running backs between Aaron Jones, Javonte Williams, Devin Singletary, Rashad Penny, Chase Edmonds, Darrell Williams. I thought it was going to be easy, and then we started getting these guys.
2 of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's cross out Singletary.
Yeah.
I think, did I hear Javonte?
Yeah, I heard Javonte, Aaron Jones, Penny, Chase Edmonds, Darrell. I like all those guys. I mean, I like Edmonds. If Connor's out, I like all those guys.
That's the thing. If Connor's out, how do you pass on Edmonds? Man, that's tough. Okay, let's assume. Well, you can't assume Connor's out. He's 50-50. I think Connor probably won't play or will be limited. I think you got to play Penny because of the upside.
But can you play Penny over like Aaron Jones and Javonte Williams in your championship?
I would play personally
in PPR.
For me, it's between Penny, Javonte, and then if Connor doesn't play, Edmonds would be those would be my 3 I'm deciding between. Again, just the way I am, I shoot for the big game, the upside. I would go Javonte and Penny.
Even if Connor's out, you go Penny over Edmonds?
Yeah, I think so.
I think if Connor's out, I got to go. Like, what do you have, 8 catches last week? Like,
that's a tougher matchup, though. Dallas defense,
I know, but like you said, they might just dump it off more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's too many good options, man. Too many good options.
I mean, you don't have any bad choices there. I don't think there's a guy you put in just going to bomb. Except for Singletary is the only guy I would say no.
Yeah.
Don't play Singletary.
All right, let's move on to one wide receiver. A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham. I mean, it's got to be A.J. Brown, right?
A.J. Brown.
And then so flex, do we flex Odell? Maybe okay, so I would probably go now that I flex, I'd probably go Javonte, Penny, Edmonds, and AJ Brown. Flex one of the running backs.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
because Beckham is
Unless
upside, but still risky.
unless Connor plays, then I'd probably go Aaron Jones. Did
All
we
right.
get that? Did we get it all? I think we got it all. Hopefully we got it all. All right, we got another super chat from Master Shake. Oh, so you know who Master Shake is.
Master Shake, yeah. So what's up to Frylock?
What's up? It's for Frylock for sure. And Meatwad. I actually have I had them right here. I've got the first 3 seasons
Wow.
of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
That's a great show. Underrated
Great show.
classic.
Great show. Okay. Does Edmonds have any value? We just talked about this. Did Edmonds have any value if Connor's out? Yes, he has tons of value.
A high-end RB2.
And would you start him over Michelle, Mitchell, Ronald Jones, or Penny?
Michelle Mitchell, yes. Penny's the one for me. I can't ignore that massive upside. I mean, you saw what he did last week. Now going against Detroit. I mean, if he's going to run that well, I know his only risk with him is health. I mean,
Yeah.
he just gets injured, and it's always a risk. I get that. So
Yes.
he has week winning potential, so I can't sit him. And then Ronald Jones, the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. Penny's a close one for me as well,
Yeah.
and Ronald Jones is close too. Michelle, and Mitchell definitely. I would play Evans over him. So hopefully you could play Penny, Jones, and Evans if Connor's out, because I think they're all going to have great games. All right, we got another super chat from Erwin Ball. Which QB to start, Huntley, Lance, or Hill? Didn't we already answer this question?
Yes.
And we both said Taysom. We both said Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it's Hill.
Yeah, it's Taysom Hill for us. Nigel Middlesev again. Gallup or MVS? We actually answered this. We said MVS.
Yes.
Yeah, we said MVS. And then if Jordan Howard is a go, would you pivot to Dare or Jarrett Patterson? I think I would just go with Jordan Howard.
Go with Patterson. I mean, but if Boston Scott's available, that probably is the better choice.
But he's saying if Jordan Howard plays.
Oh, if he does play. I thought you said if he doesn't play.
Do you play?
If Jordan Howard plays, he's a decent start.
Yeah, I would go with him. All right, another super chat from Big Tizzy. Pick 2, Antonio Brown, Ronald Jones, Javonte Williams, or whichever 49er back starts, which will probably be Elijah Mitchell. Wow, can only pick 2, and this is PPR.
Oh man, I mean, if Antonio Brown does play, it's hard not to play him. But then you're going with him and Ronald Jones. You're putting all your eggs in the basket against the Jets.
I'll say in my home league championship, I have Ronald Jones and Antonio Brown, assuming Antonio Brown plays, and I have the Tampa Bay defense. I have a lot of eggs in the Tampa Bay basket.
That's a good basket to have this week. So
yeah,
I think you do that.
All right,
especially if Antonio Brown plays and Evans doesn't play.
Yeah, then you gotta play Antonio Brown. All right, back to questions. Back to the lightning round here. Would you go with Hurts or roll with the dice playing Lance? Come on, Jalen Hurts.
Hurts.
Evans, Swift, or Singletary? Pick 2.
Evans, Swift, or Singletary?
Edmonds, Swift, or Singletary?
Edmonds, yes. Swift, Singletary, no. Maybe I get he's been.
Well, you got to pick one of them.
They got all those pass catchers back, so. So no, I'd try Swift.
Yeah, Edmonds and Swift for me. Someday, Pay Rodgers or Brady?
I mean, a lot of that depends on who Brady could be throwing to, but again, he just might not throw a lot, so I go Rodgers.
Yeah, I like Rodgers against Minnesota. I just think he has more upside. Devin Singletary. This is illy naive. Who do I flex? Devin Singletary or Michael Pittman?
Michael Pittman.
Yeah, definitely Pittman. Especially now that Wentz actually he was cleared from COVID, but he still has to get the doctor approval to play, but he'll probably play. Michael White, Edmonds, Chubb, Michelle.
You got to play Chubb. He's in no doubt. You got to play Chubb. Edmonds will be second on that list, but definitely Chubb.
Yeah, definitely Chubb. Andy Howan, apologies if I mispronounced that. Sit 1 in PPR. Jarrett Patterson, Tyler Boyd, Devonta Smith, Darnell Mooney. Who are we sitting?
sit one. Probably Jared Patterson. Just don't see a
Yeah,
path to a big game.
I'm going to sit Jared Patterson as well. MSH with the football team logo. Actually, that looks like a Redskins logo. It's kind of small. Maybe it's not, but it looks like a Redskins logo. Fant, Gasecki, or Moreau?
He hasn't been great lately, but Gesicki still has the best upside out of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. What happened to Gasecki, man? It looked like for the first like 4 or 5 weeks he was going to be like a league-winning tight end, and he's just disappeared, man.
Well, when Devontae Parker is on the field, that really eats into Gesicki's target share.
Yeah, that's true. Here we go from Big Kong. Davis Mills or Matt Ryan? Love it.
All right, this is the type of decision that I really hope doesn't decide your championship. But
Right? Exactly. I hope this is like a 2 QB league. This is your
I'm going
QB2.
Davis Mills. I mean, look, he's just been more productive than Matt Ryan. He has, and the matchup's
Yeah.
not as bad. It's not great against 49ers, but it's better than Buffalo.
Well, 49ers secondary hasn't been good. I mean, we saw Tannehill and A.J. Brown picked them apart last week.
True.
And Davis Mills has been much better than Matt Ryan lately, so I go Mills as well. Ryan Johnson, flex one in standard scoring. C. Patterson, Justin Jackson, or Jarrett Patterson?
I mean, if Eckler's back, we can't start Justin Jackson, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Patterson.
Which one?
Steve
Cordero?
Patterson. Cordero
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes. Chris Jeffries, full PPR pick 2. Brandon Cooks, Darrell Williams, Sony Michelle. I'm going to say not Michelle.
Yeah, the first two.
Yes. Jose Andrade, Cordero Patterson, or Christian Kirk in the flex?
I would chase the upside with Kirk, honestly. Patterson, I mean, it's a touchdown or bust, really. I don't expect him to all of a sudden revert, back to what he was. Seems kind of like a flash in the pan, sadly.
Even with a touchdown, what are you getting? 12 points? Like,
if even.
Yeah, so it's even with a touchdown, he might bust. So I would chase upside with Christian Kirk. Tiger Club 100. Do I start Justin Jefferson or Renfro in PPR?
I go Jefferson because Renfro also, again, you look at that 3-week period where he beasted out. It's over. He's done nothing the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, you got to stick with Jefferson.
Yeah, and we got another super chat. Thank you so much. Cody Ledbetter 68. My opponent is starting Tua. I need my flex spot filled. Should I go with Cordero Patterson or Devontae Parker to go against QB? Okay, well, you should never worry about who his QB is. You should just play the guy who's going to score the most points. And I'm going to say Devontae Parker. Not because he has Tua, because of Devontae Parker, I think, will score more points.
Yeah, exactly. It's not one of those things like real football, offense, defense. Like it doesn't matter. You pick the player who scores the more points. That's it. And so Devontae Parker, he's the guy.
Yeah. And then another super chat from John Carrier. Thank you so much. Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson, or A.J. Brown, one wide receiver, standard, easily A.J. Brown for me, especially in standard
for sure.
Especially in standard scoring. All right, how much time we got here? I know we've gone a long time today, but it's championship week. People need it.
We can go a little longer, another 10 minutes maybe.
Let's go, guys. Let's go into overtime this week. It's championship week. No messing around. Let's do it for the people. For the people. All right.
That's what I'm here for.
I shouldn't stack. This is Dylan Price. I shouldn't stack Debo and Kittle, huh? I mean, you probably should, because you probably don't have a better wide receiver than Debo, and you probably don't have a better tight end than Kittle unless you have like Andrews or Kelsey.
You absolutely have to start Debo. I mean, great option. Kittle, who would you play instead of Kittle? That's the thing. Do you have a tight end who's
Andrews and Kelsey? Those are the only guys I'm playing over Kittle. Andrews and Kelsey. That's it.
Yeah.
So, Paramveer Singh, St. Brown or Zeke, full PPR.
I mean, the full PPR, I could see St. Brown outscoring Zeke, but I would put Zeke in the lineup just because I think he still has more upside.
Yeah, I can't bench Zeke. He looks good, looks fresh. Well, I shouldn't say fresh, but he looks healthier than he's been in a long time. So, Brandon Ortiz, Lockett or Boston Scott Landry? I think you gotta go Lockett.
Lockett.
Huntley or Tua?
Tua,
definitely. Against Tennessee. Let's see. Is Eli Mitchell a good start? Yes, I think he's a good start, but again, like we say, it depends on the other options. Boston Scott or Javante? I mean, Javante easily, right?
Easily Javante. Even if Jordan Howard's ruled out, it's still Javante.
Let's see. Tristan Floyd, Elijah Mitchell, or Daryl Williams?
I think we'll both go Daryl Williams.
Yeah, I'd love to say Elijah Mitchell, but I am a little worried about his usage, so I'll go Daryl Williams. Brandon Cooks, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, Tyreek Hill. Pick 2 or 3. Well, I think Tyreek Hill and Brandon Cooks are must out of that group.
Okay, so is it 2 or 3?
2 or 3. Well, I think there's your 2 for me is Tyreek Hill and Brandon Cooks. I think they're head and shoulders above the others.
Okay.
So then Ayuk, DJ Moore, or Christian Kirk. If we're gonna pick a third, let's pick a third for him.
Okay, so not DJ Moore. I guess I'll put Kirk over Ayuk.
Yeah. Hopefully you only have to pick 2. Derek Smallwood, Kyler Murray, or Joe Burrow. Your 2 busts. I think you had both these guys as busts.
I do, but I have Murray busting less.
Yeah, because at least Murray, he's going to get you like 40, 50 rushing yards. So
right.
And then Swift or Hollywood Brown, PPR.
Amazingly, I would go Swift just because at least you take the chance that they do give him something like a big workload. He catches passes out of the backfield. I mean, we just don't have much faith in Hollywood Brown anymore.
Exactly. Paul Nguyen needs sound advice. Okay, hopefully, that's what we're trying to do. Got to sit one of these absolute studs. Devontae Adams cannot be benched.
No.
Justin Jefferson, maybe. Keenan Allen, maybe. Antonio Brown. Got to bench one of those. Well, Devontae Adams, not benchable.
Absolutely not. Devontae Adams. There's a lot more risk with Jefferson than there is with Allen. I know Allen hasn't been smashing lately, but at least he's got that floor. I mean, if Manning is a disaster, then Jefferson could have one of those games where he gets 2 catches for 18 yards, right? And you have studs elsewhere. Hopefully, Abe, for your sake, not for anybody else, but for your sake, hopefully AB doesn't play and you don't have to worry about it. But I think if AB plays, you probably play him and Allen, and then you sit Jefferson.
I agree. I think if AB plays, Justin Jefferson is the one you sit. Obviously, if AB doesn't sit, if AB doesn't play, then you're sitting. And then real quick, just want to give a shout out to Just Beige, who just dropped us a super chat from New Zealand, I believe. Thank you. Just said, shout out to Chris and Pierre for their efforts this year. Good luck to everyone this week. Bring home the trophies. That's right. Let's bring home those trophies. That's what it's all about. Or whatever you get, monies or bragging rights, whatever it is. Let's bring them home. Jersey J, Jacobs or Sony Michel, PPR. Here we go.
I like Jacobs getting a ton of touches lately. I know the matchup isn't great, but he is kind of their offense. He's got the pass catching, in his favor too. So I go Jacobs.
I agree. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I start Josh Jacobs. Leo Cool, Lockett or Sony Michel, PPR.
Definitely Lockett.
Definitely Lockett. Jersey J again, Waddle or St. Brown, PPR. Definitely Waddle, right?
Waddle, top 10 receiver. Book
it. Rick North, Burrow or Brady?
Brady.
Yeah, definitely Brady. All right, how low are we on Sony Michel? Tyler Smith, Boston Scott, or Sony Michel?
It would only even be if Jordan Howard is ruled out that I would consider Boston Scott over him. Yeah. And Boston Scott, I would go with Michel.
Yeah, I'm not this low on Michel. I'm still, even if Jordan Howard is ruled out, I'm still playing Michel over Boston Scott. It's not like Boston Scott's a sure thing over here. All right, Cody Ledbetter, 68, another super chat. Thank you. With Cousins and Lamar out, who to start as desperation? Mac Jones, Big Ben, maybe Big Ben in his final home game, Huntley, or Trey Lance. Okay, so I will say this before you even answer. So in our 2 QB league, in my 2 QB league championship final that I'm in, we lost Kirk Cousins to COVID. He was going to be our QB2. And we picked up Trey Lance. And there's not a lot of options. It's a 2 QB league, so there's not a lot. We don't have we don't have these options. But we did have the option of Mac Jones. But we talked about it. So I co-managed a team with a friend of mine, and we said, no, there's just no upside with Mac Jones. Let's go with Trey Lance. So I'm going to say Trey. Well, I might go Huntley over Lance.
Well, I'll make it easy. I'll say Trey Lance
Okay.
because I mean we talked about this Huntley. We get
Against the Rams.
seduced by that one game, but that was a come from behind. No, tough matchup.
Yeah.
You got the rushing upside. So does Lance. So
yeah,
it's Lance.
Yeah. So we went Lance. So there you go. So we put my money where my mouth is. We went Lance over Cousins in our 2 QB. So that's what I would go with.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. You got greened. I don't know what that means. Full PPR needs 2 between Swift, Ronald Jones, and Michael Carter.
Well, in this case, I don't go Swift because Ronald Jones, you got to start him. And Michael Carter, I think his upside is every bit as much as Swift, but he's definitely going to get the touches. And Swift, we don't really know.
Yeah, I agree. And then Joseph Madera, Jarrett Patterson, or A.J. Dillon?
Go A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I just can't trust Jarrett Patterson. Okay, these are rich guys' problems right here. Rich people's problems. Wes Pipes, full PPR, A.J. Brown, Antonio Brown, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Waddle. Play 3. Only pick 3.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have to pick Waddle because we know he's going to be a top 10 receiver.
I think we got to pick A.J. Brown.
I think we got to pick A.J. Brown.
And then for me, it comes down to if Antonio Brown plays and Evans doesn't, I go Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And then I know I might be in the minority here, but I have Deontay Johnson higher than Higgins. I think Higgins. I really do. I think if you look at the Bengals outside of those 2 Ravens games, they're very run heavy. The Chiefs struggle against the run. They're better against the pass. I think we see a game where they just run it a lot. I'm not down on T. Higgins. Like I still think T. Higgins is going to be great this week. I have Johnson a little higher. But I think the plays here are A.J. Brown, Antonio Brown, and Waddle.
Yeah, I think if Antonio Brown plays, you play Antonio Brown, right? A.J. Brown for sure, Waddle for sure. So if he doesn't, I guess I would probably say Deontay. I can see the Bengals one going either way because we know Chiefs can, put up a lot of points. The Bengals have to go pass heavy. Higgins gets a bunch of targets, but Chiefs outside have been much better against wide receivers, not shutting them down completely, but they've got a couple of good corners. So Higgins is not guaranteed a big game. Neither is Deontay Johnson. But I'll agree with you. I'll just say Deontay Johnson if AB doesn't play.
All right, and then I do see a couple comments where people are saying it's hard to hear you. So I don't know if you can turn your volume up a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah, I think you. Or maybe me, or maybe let us know in the chat if it's me. Maybe it's my side, but I think I have my volume full. Anyways, we got another super chat from Anthony DeVoe. You sound okay to me on my end, but I don't know. I guess some people. It's only a couple comments, so I don't know. But anyways, with Aaron Jones' knee issue and Dylan stealing touches, should I start Penny instead?
Start Penny instead of who? So I'm trying
Aaron
to
Jones.
my microphone now. Huh?
Instead of Aaron Jones.
I would start Penny over Aaron Jones.
Man.
I know.
I mean, I can definitely see Penny outscoring Aaron Jones for sure. I don't know if I have the moxie to do it though, but maybe. Of course, this is the week that I'm finally like saying, okay, fine, you can play Aaron Jones. The week he's gonna bust, right? Called him a bust for like 3 straight weeks, and he kept scoring touchdowns, and everybody told me I was an idiot. And now I'm like, okay, fine, you can play Aaron Jones. He's gonna do nothing much. So, all right, we got a super chat from Tyler Foley. Thank you. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're in the championship game. Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, RG3. Who's RG3? I only know the quarterback. Ronald Jones? Does he mean Ronald? Does he mean Melvin Gordon? Does he mean maybe he meant an M? Maybe he typoed. It's supposed to be an M. Melvin Gordon?
Maybe. I don't know.
You definitely sound louder now though, so you're good.
Yeah, I flipped it. So
And then Darrell Williams, pick 2.
Okay, so Darrell
Well,
Williams. Who are the choices? We don't know the first one.
Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going to say Melvin Gordon, Boston Scott, Darrell Williams.
I mean, if it's Melvin Gordon, I guess he would be one of them. I don't know. I guess I have Darrell Williams ahead of him a little bit.
Yeah.
So Darrell Williams would probably be the top choice. Damian Harris would probably be next.
Yeah, those are going to be my 2. If Harris plays, I was going to say Harris and Darrell Williams. If Harris is out, then I would go Melvin Gordon and Darrell.
Yeah.
Assuming that is Melvin Gordon and not Robert Griffin III. If it's Robert Griffin III, don't start him. He's like doing color commentary for college games right
now. Is he? Is he really?
Yeah, he did the game that the one Deion Sanders coached, and I saw him doing one the other night. Yeah,
there you go.
He's actually not bad. All right, Pasta Prince with another super chat. Did you change your avatar since 10 minutes ago? This is a different avatar. If no AB or Evans, would you flex Mitchell over Gronk? I think didn't we answer this one? We said Gronk. We had this question, Gronk or Mitchell, and we said Gronk if no AB and Evans.
Yeah, I go Gronk. Yeah, I feel like it's the same type of question.
Yeah, and do I start Brady with any confidence over someone like Lance? I start Brady with a lot of confidence over Lance.
Because Brady's the type of guy, I know he was down last week, but it's the Jets, and also he can find other receivers. He's has a chance. He'll find Gronk, right? He'll find Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller. So I think you can still start him over a risky guy.
Yeah, Lance very risky. Another super chat from Cody Ledbetter 68. Thank you so much. Another defense question: Colts, Browns, Rams, or Eagles?
Colts, Browns, Rams. Okay, let's see. Colts, Browns. Probably not the Browns over those guys. I feel pretty good about the Colts. I know Derek Carr's, not turning the ball over a ton, but they're a solid defense. But I think I like the Rams better because, I just don't think Huntley he's not Lamar Jackson. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I like the Rams. It's an elite defense going against a backup quarterback. I like the Rams as well. Super chat from Ted Barrios needs 3 running backs in PPR. Aaron Jones, a lot of Aaron Jones questions. Jonathan Taylor?
Let's hope not.
I don't know any other Taylor running back.
Okay, so start Taylor, maybe.
Well, let's see who the other choices are. Ronald Jones, Darrell Williams, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, obviously you're starting Jonathan Taylor. Okay. So we need 2. So we need 2 between Aaron Jones, Ronald Jones, Darrell Williams, Elijah Mitchell.
Ronald Jones, and then I don't know, Aaron Jones. I guess I have Aaron Jones over Darrell Williams.
Yeah, I probably do. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I want to say Darrell Williams. I think Darrell Williams could definitely outscore Aaron Jones. But could I really put Darrell Williams in my lineup over Aaron Jones? I don't think I could. Don't think I can.
No.
All right, another super chat from Leo Cool. Thank you. Pick 2 full PPR. Sony Michel, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Lockett. So we're picking 2 of those.
Oh, definitely Lockett.
Yeah, definitely Lockett.
Probably Swift.
Yeah, I would go Swift. He should catch plenty of passes at least. All right, Tyler Foley, another super chat. Thank you. Yes, he is in his championship game. All right, great job. Let's take it home. And he did mean Melvin Gordon, so there you go. So we answered that correctly. Debo, Metcalf, Beasley, Perryman, Osborne. Pick 2 in half PPR. Well, obviously Debo is 1.
Debo, no doubt. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear Beasley. I don't
Beasley
think you can go. I don't think you can go Osborne.
You can't go Perryman. You gotta go. I think you gotta go DK Metcalf.
In this case, yes.
Yeah, you gotta go DK Metcalf here. All right, Dave Jones TV, pick 2. Mixon, Damian Harris, Ronald Jones, half PPR.
I think you got to start Mixon. Man, hard. The questionable, not just the questionable status, Damian Harris, but I would go Jones over him.
I agree. And then Big Lenny coming in here to drop a $1 super chat. Thank you. Appreciate it. Big Lenny, aka Clapping Cheeks, aka Austin, aka how is he actually going to win the Endgame League? Nobody knows, but it's God's plan apparently.
The doctor's in the house.
Doctor's in the house. It's God's plan. He's going to win the Endgame Private League. Literally, he's got Jonathan Taylor and a bunch of dudes he picked up off the waivers, and he's going to win. Crazy.
You know why? If he wins it, it's because he listens to us.
That's right. That's right. All right, super chat from Christopher Leon. Pick 2 running backs in half PPR. Darrell Williams, Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds.
I mean, we've been saying it all for the past 2 hours. If James Conner doesn't play, Chase Edmonds goes up quite a bit, and he's a really solid start. So I kind of feel like he has to be one.
Yeah.
And Darrell Williams is kind of that safe play. So
yeah, I think it's Edmonds and Darrell Williams if Conner is out. If Conner plays, then I think it's Williams and Harris for me. Super chat from Masenko, Burrow or Huntley? Okay, I know I'm low on Burrow, but I don't think I'm this low on Burrow.
No, we're lower on Huntley, so Burrow in this case. Don't feel great about him, but I feel better than Huntley.
And then Burrow or Murray, which we already answered this one. You're 2 busts, and we both said Murray. Tyler Foley, add Ayuk to my last question. So do you play Ayuk over DK Metcalf in half PPR? I don't. I am see you next year, Brandon Ayuk.
As it's framed to us, right? Because if we're down on somebody, then we hate them. Like there's no I prefer this guy. It's like you hate him.
Yes.
You know, like 3 weeks ago, I hated Michael Pittman. So the guy you hate, which is Brandon Ayuk, or the guy I hate, who I used to love, DK Metcalf. All right, am I right? That's basically what it comes down to.
Yes.
All right, so let's make this a final one. Ayuk or Metcalf? I'll go Metcalf.
And it's not the final one because we got a couple more super chats. We got to do the super chats.
All right.
I know. They keep coming in. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Happy New Year, everyone, by the way. Chris Segovia, full PPR, sit one. Oh, my goodness, dude. What? Eckler, Ronald Jones, David Montgomery, Najee Harris. You got to sit one of those. Who are you sitting?
Wow. Okay, so once again, this has got to be an 8-team league. You have those as your running backs. Man, okay, so those are all guys in my top 10 for running backs. Eckler have to start.
Oh, yeah. I
got Montgomery next. Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to say confidently sit Rojo.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Rojo outscoring Najee Harris, but I don't think I would play him over Najee Harris.
But the thing is, at least with Najee Harris, you know he's going to play the whole game. He's going to continue to get carries. He's going to get dump offs.
He's going to get the receptions. Yeah.
Ronald Jones at any moment. We could see that tweet come in where, like, since fumbling, Keyshawn Vaughn has played 25 snaps and Ronald Jones has played 0. You know what I mean? Like Najee Harris could fumble 3 times and he's still going to get the ball and be the guy. So,
right.
But those are all great choices.
So don't hate us if Ronald Jones goes for 200 yards and a touchdown. Like, we didn't say he wasn't. It's just you have better options.
Yeah, you just have better options. Exactly. We like all those guys a lot. All right, super chat from Sonket Zombri. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Apologies. Pick 3 from Damian Harris, Darrell Williams, St. Brown, and Kamara.
Is Kamara the guy we sit out of all those 3? Maybe. I mean, St. Brown is pretty solid. Darrell Williams is pretty solid. Who? And the second one was who?
Damian Harris and Kamara.
Damian. That's why I was combining Damian. Man, and this is PPR. Does it say?
Does not say.
Oh man, how low on Kamara? I mean, would you sit Kamara for Damian Harris? I think if Damian Harris plays, you kind of almost have to play him over Kamara.
I would. I'm really low on Kamara this week. Taysom Hill doesn't get all his dump offs with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill vultures the touchdowns. Mark Ingram eating into his workload. Carolina, not a terrible defense. I think I would sit Kamara out of that group. Crazy enough.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he really hasn't done anything last couple weeks. The last big game he had was against the Jets.
And I think,
And
if I'm not mistaken, there was no Mark Ingram in that game.
right.
No
It's
Mark
true.
Ingram.
Okay. So there we go. You're sitting Kamara.
It's crazy, crazy. All right, and then super chat from Gassan Ayad. Again, apologies if I mispronounced it. I'm sure I did. Jamar Chase or St. Brown?
I think you got to go Chase. I mean, there's just too much upside to ignore. Don't love the matchup, but still, he's a guy who could go off at any time, score a touchdown. You got to stick with Chase.
I agree. All right, we'll just do a couple more regular questions, and then we got to go, guys. This has been awesome. Also, by the way, guys, before I do, I want to say tomorrow we're doing a special championship live stream just for fun, so we can all sweat our championship games. We're going to start at kickoff, the morning kickoff. We're going to go through the afternoon games. We probably won't do Sunday night because we have wives and families, and we don't want to get divorced. So just hop on anytime you want. We'll be going live all day. Come in, tell us how your teams are doing, chat it up with us. We'll be watching the game. So if you want to have some fun tomorrow and chat it up with us, join that. But anyways, let's do a couple more. Let's do a tight end one because we always like those. Tyler Smith, Hunter Henry, or Noah Fant?
Go Hunter Henry. Look, fans, it's kind of Drew Lock throwing to him. But Drew Lock probably going to throw to Albert O more than he will to Fant, his former teammate in Missouri. Hey, he's a pretty good receiving tight end. No, but anyways, I go Hunter Henry.
I agree. And then the roll agree, Hollywood, Myers, or Parker, wide receiver 3.
Parker.
Definitely, I agree. And then last one, Simon for president, Keenan Allen or St. Brown at wide receiver 2.
That's closer than it sounds. But I'm going to say you have to go with Keenan Allen. I know St. Brown has been really solid. But again, said about how Seattle's been pretty good against wide receivers. You know, it's knockoff, it's Boyle. Not too worried about the matchup against Denver because Herbert did fine against them last time. So I'll go Keenan Allen.
I agree. Keenan Allen. There you go, guys. Hopefully we got to most of your questions. Again, if we didn't get your question, link down below to our Discord server. It's completely free. Get in there. Ask Start Sit questions. We'll help you out with that. Don't forget, tomorrow we are going to be live streaming all day, sweating out our championship matchups. Come join us for that. It'll be a lot of fun. Anything else, Pierre?
Also, we're doing this again tomorrow morning, but for our patrons. So if you want to consider joining, very low entry cost. Information of that is always in the description. So you can get more time, answer all your questions, and just talk about football too. We have a nice group there. Have a good time. So, or just want to support us, guys. You don't have to show up to the live stream tomorrow morning. If you just want to support, you just appreciate what we do, we would appreciate that. So good luck, and we'll see hopefully a lot of you tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we're all celebrating, well, I guess it'll be on Tuesday, those championships. So